and no sign-up is required. Locations may be right in your neighborhood. Call 1-866-348-6479 or visit education.ohio.gov/kidseat for meal locations and times. That's education.ohio.gov/kidseat.
This just in from the Lindsay Honda Newsroom. It's our big anniversary sale. 0% for up to 60 months has been extended on all new Hondas. Drive a new 2025 CRV LX all-wheel drive with 0% financing.
Lower your rate, lower your payment.
Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas when you buy now.
With so many Hondas, why would you go anywhere else?
Shop the big, the beautiful Lindsay Honda now. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness. Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Don't miss the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale. Save up to 80% on truckloads of floors and more, including tile starting at 19 cents a square foot and a massive selection of laminate, luxury vinyl, and carpet, all drastically reduced. Cabinets and lighting fixtures, too. Save up to 80% during the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale on Pop Road in Whitehall. 24-month financing is available with approved credit. Hurry, the Outlet Super Sale ends June 22nd. Dealers welcome.
Right here, right now.
Hey, it's Anthony Rothman. From sold-out stadiums under Friday night lights to more than 100,000 screaming fans on the banks of the Olentangy. America's football capital is right here in Ohio. But the greatest football players and coaches of all time live up the road in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And a trip there should be on every football fan's list. Go to 971thefan.com/goldjacket and enter to win a VIP experience to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ignite the passion. Relive the glory.
What John Smiley, Chairman and CEO, wants you to know about First Bank of Central Ohio.
Our competitive advantage is the number of years we've been in Central Ohio and the fact that we're able to make decisions here locally that make sense for the client. At the end of the day, it's the ability for us to say, okay, what can we do to make your banking easier for you?
Experience what it's like to be first at fbcentralohio.com. Member FDIC. An equal housing lender.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center. After a soggy start, we have chances of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast again today. If you're in between, it'll otherwise be mostly cloudy with our highs in the low 80s. For tonight, lows in the upper 60s with still chances of rain and storms overnight. Some downpours could be heavy at times. I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo for The Fan with your 10 weather impact forecast. Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony sometimes likes to sit and stare at his bundle of Emmy Awards. Unfortunately, it's through the glass of the pawn shop. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, well, that struck a chord with a couple. Clinton, what about Travis Kelce? Yes, that's very interesting you would mention that. especially here in Ohio. And then you get the Taylor Swift bump. Our man Z, name recognition in the world does not include Tom Brady or any baseball player. I disagree. He says maybe Tiger. Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, Kobe, MJ. Yes. Dave, we're way off. Not even close. We're way off on Shohei's popularity name recognition. He's not in the top 10. Not even close. Maybe not top 25.
Oh, come on.
He is right that we are. I don't know if this is a compliment or an insult, that you and I are two baseball heads much more than regular Americans.
But I think Shohei, he's in Beats commercials. He's in a lot of those big nationally televised commercials. And so I think that's a big needle mover for me. And so I do think he is in at least right now the top 10.
I was reducing it. Like in the beginning, my knee-jerk reaction was, I'm just in awe of this guy. I'm in absolute awe of him.
Yeah,
I'm maybe, I know it's baseball versus other sports, and you can't really do that. But to me, as a dual sports star in his own sport, with the different skill sets of being able to throw 100 accurately
and hit a ball 500 feet,
and be clutch and steal base and just do everything.
Yeah.
He's an 8-tool player. Like, it doesn't make sense. So, but when I was reducing it more to now, the non-sports fan walks out of Kroger, doesn't watch sports, doesn't care, and you say, do you know who Tiger Woods is and what does he do? 10 out of 10, they're saying, yes, he was a golfer. 10 out of 10. You're not swinging and missing on that. If I say, do you know who Shohei Ohtani is and what does he do? I agree. I'm probably not going 100%. Maybe I'm going 70 or 80.
Yeah.
Like, I'm missing a couple. There's no question.
Is Babe Ruth still the one in baseball?
I mean, it's folklorish.
No, I think you're looking at names like Jackie Robinson probably a little bit more for me.
I think Babe Ruth is more.
I think with Jackie, his name still lives on because of he has a whole day where everybody in the league wears the number.
But again, it's only baseball fans that know that.
Non-sports fan.
I don't know. I think what Jackie did, even off the field, was bigger too.
I'm not saying it wasn't bigger. I'm just saying I think more people would know the name non-sports fan. Have you ever heard the name Babe Ruth? And what did he do?
I think it's Jackie Robinson over Babe. I do.
It's close.
I think it's close. I just didn't like your point of Jackie Robinson Day. I'm like, non-baseball fans doesn't know about Jackie Robinson Day.
Lucky for you, I like my point. So you know,
I don't think that's. Yeah, I don't think that's the tiebreaker for me.
All right,
I do understand.
But there's not a Babe Ruth Day in baseball.
No, but his name
that's what I'm saying. So like
folklorish to me. It's like bedtime story
got a whole
stuff.
movie about it.
I'm not.
We got multiple movies.
So does Jackie.
You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough.
Jackie.
Yeah.
All right.
And remember, this isn't about who's more popular or who's. This is more about just, do you know? Like, does it resonate? And it's interesting to me. And when I brought up Shohei, I guess I was way off.
No, you're not.
According to Dave.
I don't think you're way
I have a sample size
Vandalay Industries. You're way off.
Thanks for listening.
I have a sample size of 1. I asked my sister who would perfectly qualify for everything we're talking about.
Non-sports, doesn't care, doesn't watch.
Yes. Now, she grew up with 3 brothers, so there's a little bit of an outside influence, but she herself is not taking it upon herself to watch really anything, except she did want to watch one of the Caitlin Clark Final Four games.
Okay.
When they were doing the rematch with LSU.
I mean, she cares.
That about one. Okay, I said, name a football player, basketball player, baseball player, dead, alive, current, old, whatever.
Okay.
She said Michael Jordan.
Okay.
This is her text. Troy Polamalu, whatever.
Okay, that's growing up with you guys.
Steelers household.
Yeah, Steelers household. Yeah. So we'll set that one aside. And then
shoulders.
She butchered the spelling of Shohei Ohtani.
She did say Shohei.
And I am surprised by that.
I am too.
I'm surprised.
We're not way off, but that's where he is. And he's just everywhere.
Current news, though. Current news cycle is a little different than the Tiger Woods, Michael Jordans of the world that were the biggest thing ever, but not in the current everyday cycle of news. Like Shohei just did what he did last night, so maybe that's what happened to her. Maybe she heard it this morning.
I'd be surprised.
I promise you, she didn't know that Shohei was
No, I'm not saying
to the
no.
mound
You
last
guys
night.
don't. You're not. I'm not saying she was glued to it. What I'm saying is she
wasn't tracking his pitch
She may have
count.
accidentally heard his name today.
My gut is telling me she knew who he was prior to him throwing 100 miles an hour yesterday.
The guy that laid eggs everywhere, Tyrese Halliburton. So he's the first player in NBA Finals history to record 0 field goals, 0 steals, 0 blocks in 30-plus minutes. It's the worst Finals performance of all time. Now, he took an early spill.
He really
hurt
did.
his calf.
Yeah.
He tried to play through it. The people that are saying that he is now incredibly overrated and that in the biggest game of his life,
Oh, my goodness.
he was trash. I'm not going to deny results. They're horrendous.
He's hurt.
But please tell me,
come on,
you can't at least admit he was playing through something and it affected him negatively.
Thank you,
I don't.
AR. And after everything that this man has done throughout the postseason with clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot in every single series that the Pacers have played in, I can't knock the guy for not being able to move. You watched the game yesterday. He just couldn't do the things that he's used to doing and being explosive with the rock in his hands and like the cutting and moving off ball and just all those things that makes Tyrese Halliburton a really good player. He just wasn't able to do. So people take it off from the top rope on Tyrese Halliburton today. I just think it's misplaced.
I think the two things can be true. One, he's been an assassin. He's been as clutch as anybody we've seen, and he should get a lot of points for that. That doesn't make him a consistent superstar night in, night out. Why can't both those things be true? I think what happens is when he's hitting these daggers, and they have been real in big moments, it has elevated him to certain status, Maddie, that's going to be very tough to live up to. I read a deal today that, he has 5 playoff games with less than 10 points, and Brunson has 5 games of more than 40. Yeah. And so I'm not debating who's better or who I'd rather have. Maybe depending on how my team's constructed, I might rather have Jalen Brunson. But what's happening now is that the expectations for a guy that's been so clutch and has come up with so many game-winning hoops in this playoff, he's now being judged differently. And maybe he should be. But the egg laying last night wasn't a perfectly healthy guy that had the worst game of his life.
AR, if you and I had tickets to go see Adele, and there were reports out there that Adele had been dealing with strep throat, but she's going to go out there and give it a go at the concert, I would go into that concert with a mindset of, we may not get Adele's best because she's not feeling good and she literally cannot sing well because she has strep throat. I would not leave that concert and think, oh, wow, Adele's she's overrated.
Right.
Like, no, I know she can't do what she's used to doing. And so now we just have to see how healthy Tyrese Halliburton will be with their season on the line, coming back home for Game 6. What happens, though, when you have your star player go down the way that he went down is it puts a lot on everybody else's plate. And now you're asking for more from the Neesmiths of the world and Nembhard. Siakam's been awesome. Pascal Siakam's been really, really good. And so that was the unfortunate part for Indy. And just the timing of injuries is always what sucks, right? Is it injuries are going to happen. You just keep your fingers crossed as a fan that when your team makes it this far, that your star player doesn't get hurt in the freaking finals. So unfortunately for the Pacers, that looks like that's probably going to be the end of their season because I just don't see how he's going to get back to being explosive and being the real Tyrese Halliburton. And so that was tough, but on the other side was just an amazing performance from Jalen Williams. Just real quick, wanted to mention that. I mean, Jalen Williams dropping a 40-piece in this game as the, quote, Robin of that team was just awesome to see. He was really in his bag.
They cut it to 2.
They never quit.
They cut it to 2. And the next 2 possessions, I think OKC hit a 3. It's probably Jalen hit a 3. And then Indiana does what Indiana does. They turn the ball over. They do. They make critical mistakes. Everybody knew that the game they lost, Game 4, was their game. That's a game you cannot lose. And now, would I love to see them 4-7? Would I bet my life on it? Of course not. They are one of those teams that they don't truly surprise you when they win, and they truly don't surprise you when they do what they do last night.
Yeah.
And they just, that's who they are. They go on hot runs. They shoot the ball fairly well. When they don't, they're in trouble. They need depth, like you said. They need TJ to do his thing. They need the role players to do what they. And what's happening is when you have a superstar like Halliburton, and maybe he's not, like I said, he's a superstar in a different way. Once he started hitting those game winners, he had to live up to a certain status, and he did not do that last night. But you have to take something into account that he was not physically near his best. And it's just amazing how they just kill these dudes. Is he a top 5 point guard in the NBA right now?
If we ranked him, it'd be close.
Yeah.
He'd be in that discussion. There's no doubt going into next year. He's earned a bunch of respect from me, I'll tell you that much. And I'm not going to crush the guy now because his body is not living up to what he's used to having, and he just can't go the way he's used to going. That's simple.
We come back in 2 minutes, and we find out whether the Jackets are going to make a fairly big splash and soon. That's with our guy Brian Hedger of the Dispatch in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
What? All the budget has to be used now? And we can use all the media buy?
Javier's marketing firm just got its dream funding.
Okay, ideas. Bobbleheads? No. T-shirt cannon? I seriously need some help here.
He needs to find marketing managers who are worth every dollar.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsoring a job on Indeed gives it a visibility boost so you can hire faster. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Matty Ice here. When I needed a new Chevy, I headed to McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Right now, get up to $12,000 off MSRP on a 25 Silverado LD. They've got no market adjustments, no hidden costs, and sales managers are on the floor ready to help. That's been the McDaniel difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
Bands are us when dreams don't get in. Bands are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Bands are us when dreams don't get in. Bands are us.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Like trying to snap a picture of Bigfoot. Nobody has ever witnessed Maddie eating a carb. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, draft coming up. Off season of goodness coming up. Jackets trying to make some noise. We'll see Brian Hedger, beat writer for the Columbus Dispatch, with us on the Bryan Heating Cooling Systems Fangus Hotline. Hedge, how you been, my man?
Doing pretty good. Good to be back with you.
Oilers going to 4-7 tonight, or is it over?
I've been saying all along since the series started that it was going 7, but you got to think the Panthers are going to try to do everything they can to end it tonight because they don't want to make that long flight again. And this thing goes back to Edmonton 7. I mean, all bets are off, and I would actually probably favor the Oilers a little bit.
I think back to what was it, the early games that the Jackets played and just absolutely just drilled the Oilers here, and Skinner was in the net that night, and the Jackets just lit him up. Elvis had a very good night, got him 6-1, and I started thinking, like, if you're the Oilers and you played that little reliever role, because you had to, you kind of had to play a hot hand, you're going back to Skinner tonight, right? I thought his series was done, and then when I saw what happened last night, like most coaches would say, they're going to live and die with their original starter. Think so?
Well, Yeah, well, I mean, what's interesting, this is year 3 for Skinner, I think. So we're starting to kind of understand where he is a little bit. I mean, goalies are a little temperamental and weird, as we've all kind of figured out, and they can change over time, get better as they get older a lot of times. But Skinner's their guy. I mean, Pickard did a great job in that one game that they came back to win to relieve, keep them in it. But he's backup. Right. So, I think if you're going to go down, you're going to have to go down with Skinner. I think that's where this series, honestly, I think that's where it comes down to that, right? You look at one team and you're like, well, I wonder who's going to be in net for Florida. Well, you don't have to ask that question because you know it's going to be Bob. And on the other side, here we are in game 6 or whatever, and they're asking, who's going to be in net for the Oilers.
Hedge, I want to throw this at you because I know there's a lot to get to when it comes to the Jackets, but, what's at the forefront of your mind right now when it comes to this all season? Is it the draft? Is it a specific contract? What are you really locked in on as a guy that covers his team day in and day out?
Well, right now it's about who's going to come back, right? And who are they deeming important enough to come back from this past team? They have 9 unrestricted free agents. They have Dmitry Voronkov and Daniil Tarasov as restricted free agents. Who's coming back? Because this was a great season they had. I mean, I know they finished short of the playoffs, but literally nobody even thought they would come close to the playoffs, and they finished 2 points short. So they have tons of cap space. They have something like $442 million in cap space, I believe, because the cap's going up to 95.5 this year, and they already had a bunch anyway. So it's like, who's coming back? Are they going to bring Ivan Provorov back? Are they going to actually re-sign him? Are they going to re-sign Fabro? I mean, the last I heard was yesterday. I had been told that they're real close on a contract with Fabro, and it has not materialized yet. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. So they just kind of have to figure out some of the puzzle pieces here before they get to July 1st, I feel.
Well, Voronkov has to get a new deal, right? I mean, that's
one way or another. I mean, he's a restricted free agent.
Yeah, so, but I mean, even after a season, you'd be more than happy. He's such a big piece.
For sure. What he has done in his first 2 seasons here, I mean, you'd be crazy not to bring him back. I know that there are concerns that, as seasons go on with some of his conditioning and stuff like that. I mean, he has tended to kind of peter out a little bit as the schedule has worn on deeper into the season, but he's young, right? So he'll figure that stuff out, and he's top 20 goals each of his 2 years. So you're right. They gotta figure that one out for sure.
Speaking of young guys, Hedge, what is the plan now moving forward for one Caden Lindstrom? I know coming out of the draft, there's a lot of excitement amongst Blue Jacket fans based off of what he could be down the road, but now looking at where he is currently and maybe trying to crawl out of the injury holes and all those things, what's their plan for Caden Lindstrom right now?
Well, it was a season where if you're a Blue Jackets fan and the kid didn't play the whole season and he had a back injury, and there was a lot of concern, right? It's like, this was a 4th overall pick. You turned down Ivan Demidov, and among other players that were drafted after him. Definitely some concerns, for Blue Jackets fans and probably the Blue Jackets themselves. So from that aspect, it was good to see him, he went back to Medicine Hat to finish the season, got 100% clearance that he was fine to play with his back and everything. And the first 2 games back, he goes 2-2-4 in 2 games, and he was dominant. He was a force, and it was the championship round of the Western, Hockey League's championship, playoffs. I'm sorry, and so. He just steps right into the most important round of the WHL playoffs and just starts dominating. Then he ended up getting an injury. It was a Charlie Horse type situation in his left leg that limited him for the Memorial Cup as well. That followed after they won the WHL. So that stuff's not great. The fact is, I don't know if he's injury prone or what. Let's hope not. But he's going to go to Michigan State, and he's going to sign, with the Spartans. And they have a great program. They have unbelievable facilities there that they sunk millions and millions of dollars into recently to upgrade. So if you're gonna have anywhere to go to play in college for a developmental year, that's one of the places you'd really like to go, because they've really turned it around. Good coaching staff. So let's see what he does next year. I think if he stays healthy, he's going to have a monster year for the Spartans, but, time will tell.
Hedge, is the way the Jet Greaves played at the end of last year, do you now work that as that lights a fuse under Elvis, at least for this year? So either you can make him, and listen, I don't know if he'll make it all the way to the season or not. It feels like he signed through 27. The money's a problem, and I don't know how you talk anybody into taking him unless you just slanted it so top heavy for them to take that contract. So I'm going on the assumption that they got to at least ride this season out. Where are you in the mindset of Greaves motivating Elvis, vice versa, and who grabs the net for the most part this year?
Well, I think another good question is how much would Jet Greaves motivate Daniil Tarasov? Because I do feel like that last stretch that we saw Jet, it really feels like he is ready for his first full season in the NHL, doesn't it? Like you have to make room for him somehow, and they're probably not going to carry 3 goalies. But then you look at Tarasov, and they liked his potential so much. He's 6'5", whatever. That even through his struggles, they refused to put him on waivers to try and send him to the AHL that way to get some time or whatever, because they were afraid of losing him.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? Does that mean that they're going to probably re-sign, because he's a restricted free agent? Are they going to re-sign Tarasov? And if they do that, you have the same situation you had last season, right? Unless, like you said, they can find some kind of deal for Elvis, which I don't see happening. And I've asked Don. I mean, if anybody on the current payroll is kind of like, you look at it and say, well, buying him out might not be too terrible. It'd probably be Elvis. But then you're paying for him to go away, and you're going to pay him on the books, even though it's a lower number, for 4 years instead of 2 that are left, right? So I think they're just going to probably roll. My guess, unless they find a trade, is that they're going to roll into the season and then see how things shake out in camp again. And if Jet outplays Tarasov, they might finally have to just say, you know what, we're going to put you on waivers. If we lose you, we lose you. And Jet stays up there. But I think Elvis is back. I think he is back next year. And you're right. If Jet plays well, that could motivate Elvis, or, maybe Jet earns the starter's role for a while. I mean, they got to figure something out in net, right? Like, that's a huge area that really it held them back this year. The inconsistency.
Yeah, they were 25th in goals allowed. That's what keeps you out of the postseason. All right, my man. Great stuff as always. Thanks for hopping on, Hedge. Be well.
All right, thanks for having me. We'll see you guys.
You got it. Brian Hedger, Columbus Dispatch, covering the Blue Jackets. He was on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, guys, I know Father's Day was this weekend, kind of came and went, but if you really want to revisit helping dad and giving him the extra boost of health and energy to live his best life, you see it, you know it, maybe he's complained about it. Low T Center is offering free weight loss consultations and a free T test as kind of a special for celebrating dads. The treatment will be personalized to them. Most major insurance will be accepted. And dad will get to choose in-center care or at-home treatment, and you're helping put him back in control of his health. And now, and they've really kind of extended the deal. So today is the 17th. So from now until the 21st, until this Saturday, they can enjoy a free B12 shot when you stop in for TRT and weight loss. The offer's limited, so hop on, book now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. All right, little fallout from the U.S. Open. Is this golfer becoming a villain overnight? We'll talk about it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. Just freak the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here, and I remember the first time I understood that old saying about giving a man a fish. It made so much sense, and I see examples of it all the time. Take the new weight loss meds, for instance. Think about this. You take a shot, you eat less, and you lose weight. But the second you stop, the weight comes back. You never actually changed anything besides eating less of the same bad things. I wasn't interested in renting my results. I wanted to own them. That's why I chose Awaken 180. I needed a lifestyle change, I knew it, and I was excited about it. A medication-free path to long-term weight loss. That's exactly what I got. It's been a year and a half since I dropped my 50 pounds, and I've kept it all off. Awaken 180 taught me how to adjust my approach to food. A real-time education on how to keep it off while losing the weight. I say, learn how to fish. It's easy, it's fast, and for the long-term bonus, no medications. Do what I did and choose the solution for weight loss. Awaken180weightloss.com, 844-346-1800.
Open a money market account at Kemba Financial Credit Union and enjoy a 4.00% APY intro rate until April 2026, 6 times the national average. Maintain easy access to your funds and secure financial stability. Don't miss out. Offer expires July 31st, 2025. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. Advantage status and $5,000 minimum and $1 million maximum deposit required. APY equals annual percentage yield. Comparison based on FDIC average. Federally insured by NCUA.
Don't miss the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale. Save up to 80% on truckloads of floors and more, including tiles starting at 19 cents a square foot and a massive selection of laminate, luxury vinyl, and carpet, all drastically reduced. Cabinets and lighting fixtures, too. Save up to 80% during the Right Rug Flooring Outlet Super Sale on Pop Road in Whitehall. 24-month financing is available with approved credit. Hurry, the Outlet Super Sale ends June 22nd. Dealers welcome.
Hello, big voice guy here. I've been hired to tell you all about the Fan's YouTube channel. Did you know you can immerse yourself in Buckeye goodness like Austin and Burb's daily podcast, The Beat? Yes, sirree, Bob. Subscribe today.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover is accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Matty promises he'll continue to do the show even if he wins the lottery. If only we believed him. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
U.S. Open was great. I think my big question on Friday, you guys listened to the show, was would the course, would the uniqueness of par being a great score, which it always usually is at a U.S. Open, especially when you add Oakmont to the equation, would that be enough to transcend for a uniqueness, a car crash, if you will, where people would say this isn't normal? I don't usually watch this. All I see is great shots. Will there be some attraction to watching the mental, just crazy test that place was? Would that get maybe casual golf fans to the table? I don't know. There's no way to really know. It's, first of all, it's Father's Day weekend, and maybe if a lot of dads are watching golf, maybe the family's there and the TV's on. We had the rain delay. That probably didn't help, although throwing up Tiger Woods at Torrey probably helped fill it for a lot of people to see Tiger in his prime, for people that hadn't remembered that or never even saw it, him winning that on a broken leg and then tying Rocco on the last hole. But when it came back, my biggest question was, were there enough big names would the course, Maddie, the difficulty of the course and the uniqueness of the U.S. Open be enough to bring back to even the lack of big names? And my answer, and I'm going to be real honest, was probably no. I bet at first it's a long day anyway. People aren't going to be like me and watching it from the time the leaders go off at 3 o'clock or whatever to the time that they finished. But what we got was an epic deal. And I always love the phrase that we're not trying to be unfair. We're not trying to tick off the best golfers in the world. We're trying to identify them. The last time I checked, mental toughness is a big factor in sports. Period.
Talk about it.
It is. It does not matter. It does not matter. I mean, Scheffler's probably not used to having that many par putts that mean something. Right. Those are tap-ins for most guys. These guys live that every week on tour. And I'm not saying they never three-putt. I'm just saying that most of the par putts on tour, and you'd have to really dive into the numbers on this, on the feet of par putts, that's the most you'll ever see. And so I enjoyed it. The fact that we had this thing go down to 18, the fact that we only had one guy finish under par, the fact that he was a guy that most people thought would choke because he started so poorly and got bad breaks. There's no way you're climbing back out of that. Yeah. Like once you go south at a U.S. Open, you're probably done.
Well, as Adam King told us, when things go south, they can go south.
Yes.
If things go south, things could go south.
Yes. And so the fact that he was able to rescue that and able to, and maybe it's the lack of expectation. Yeah. Maybe it's because J.J. Spawn didn't have any pressure. He'd only been in his second U.S. Open ever. He missed the cut in his first one. The fact that he won his second competing is terrific.
And how he walked it off was bananas.
How far that puck goes by, if it doesn't go in, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe he has a 4-footer for the win.
Hey, I said yesterday, man, I said, what we saw this past weekend, I don't need a ton of that. Like a one-off with that style of play works for me. I don't think I would enjoy week in and week out those type of courses being played. Like I like a little offense, right? I like a little getting after it and aggressiveness out there on those courses, just in sports in general. But the one-off is fine. Like an NFL game, I'll watch one game that's 10-7. I don't need that every single week. I'd get bored of watching those defensive grinds all the time, but that's just me, and I know there's some people that really love golf the way you do that like to see that environment, and maybe you want to see a little bit more. But I'm good on it after one time.
I've admitted Oakmont is historic. Mm-hmm. It's not beautiful. It's not, you don't look at it. We weren't watching Pebble Beach. There was no ocean. There was a turnpike. There was a bridge they walked over to get to another hole. Yeah. Like, I think that different is great when it comes to this. And I've been a big proponent of our national championship is so unique in that way that they set it up so difficult that par is a great score. And the guys that can get through 4 days, and there are guys that can't. They can't get through 4 days. Bryson DeChambeau, a lot of people's favorite. He was watching with the rest of us. And Scheffler, God bless him. If he would have made some putts, he might have stolen it. He really might have. He was hanging around enough to be scary and to watch those guys come back. Wyndham Clark, a former U.S. Open champ, kicked in a locker, supposedly. The two of them.
It's better and smarter than the athletes that punch walls. I will give him that. Not the greatest look for Wyndham Clark, but when we got guys like, I think Devin Williams for the Brewers, closer for them, punched a wall, took himself out of the postseason. Like, that type of stuff, we don't need any of that.
I remember when Amari Stoudemire broke open the fire extinguisher glass and had to miss the rest of that series?
That's just idiotic stuff right there. You want to kick a locker or something, let out the frustration. If it's a one-off, fine. Just don't make it a thing more times than not.
When you get in a fight with a drunk, you don't hit him with your pitching hand. I can't keep giving you these tips. And so enough about, Wyndham Clark is not really the story. Pay for it, apologize again, because he just went through this where he chucked his driver back to the T-Mobile sign and almost hit a Marshal. And then he did a big written apology. This wasn't that long ago.
Really? I missed that.
Sit a couple plays out, Wyndham. It's time for you to get right.
Come sit next to me.
Yeah,
take
a 20.
Next to me. Yeah.
Okay, you can't keep. Once you threw out the written letter for the club toss, this was probably not the follow-up. Secondly, Rory.
Oh, man. This is your boy.
He is my boy.
This your guy.
And I still think he's very likable. I've been a big fan of his entire career. I think he's fairly down to earth. I don't think he ever was a guy that was dripping with arrogance. I never thought he was patting himself on the back for anything.
Yeah.
I think he's a fairly, incredibly world-class talented guy that achieved his lifelong dream of winning the Masters and completing the Grand Slam. And now I don't know where I am. I don't know what my next goal is. I don't maybe have to have one. Maybe I never did have one. Maybe he was not Tiger. He didn't have Jack's poster on the wall in the 18 majors. I don't think he ever really thought about that. And so once he did this, the other thing, and this is a total guess with Rory, and maybe we'll play this at the top of the hour just to kind of start the second hour with it, is none of us have any clue what is going on with that man's personal life. Because we make the assumption that by winning the Masters cured everything. I mean everything. We forget that he was separated from his wife. They were heading for divorce. There were rumors. There were things written about him. There were allegations that I don't know whether they're true or false, that he was commiserating with Amanda Balionis, the CBS reporter. And who knows? Because she had just gone through a divorce. I have no clue. I'm just saying that we thought that the Masters, and remember, his wife was there at the Masters, and they hugged, and there were some photo ops. Did it seem all perfect? No, but how would I know what their relationship is at this point? They have a young daughter. Like, I'm wondering if he just mentally, the golf, when you're playing poorly on the golf course, people automatically assume it's one or the other. Either you brought your personal life to the course and that's why you're bad, or that you're playing poorly and your personal life is suffering for it. Nobody knows. Yeah. And I think he finally hit a little bit of a wall in the way Rory hits a wall. Remember, his hitting the wall is different. It's not punching it. And we'll play this next at the top of the hour. There was a clip with the media, and he finally, Maddie, as you like to say, I don't think he turned heel completely, but he's now leaning into, I've done enough. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. Summer savings, Rich is backing it up. He has rates as low as 0% and leases starting from $249 a month. How about a 25 Honda HR-V LX CVT two-wheel drive? Lease it for only $259 a month. 36 months, 30,000 miles with only $30.39 down. And all trades deserve a sweetener. He's giving you an extra $1,000 for yours. See them for all the details. Germain Honda of Dublin, Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
This June 17th, back in 2017, thousands of Reds fans gathered on the plaza outside Great American Ballpark to see the new statue of the hometown boy who had gone on to become the hit king of baseball. Pete Rose would be honored along with the other statues of three of Pete's Big Red Machine teammates, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, and Tony Perez. And after a few speeches, Pete pulled the tarp off his statue, and there he was in bronze, a head-first slide. Pete thought it was just right. I was an aggressive player with those head-first slides, Pete said, and he added, plus, you always got your picture in the paper. Well, now he had his picture in bronze for the ages. Pete's statue unveiled this June 17th, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate
today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here, and so are the summer savings at RCD RV. Don't miss RCD RV's summer kickoff sale running June 7th through the 21st. New RVs starting as low as $12,995. Now's the time to make a splash this summer. Hurry in. Those deals will not last long. Find unbeatable savings, unforgettable fun, and everything you need to hit the road at RCDRV.com. Visit our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at RCDRV.com.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals tonight down in Florida at 8 o'clock. With a win, the Panthers secure their second straight cup. Looking to avoid elimination, the Edmonton Oilers will start Stuart Skinner in goal. After off days yesterday, all of the Reds, Guardians, and Clippers start new series tonight. Cincinnati welcomes the Minnesota Twins to Great American Ballpark at 7:10. Andrew Abbott looks to stay hot on the mound for Cincy. Coverage on ESPN Columbus gets underway at 6:40. Cleveland out west, they're taking on the San Francisco Giants at 9:45. Slade Ciccone makes the start for the Guards, or Robbie Ray for the Giants. And it's Diamond Dog Night over at Huntington Park as Columbus hosts Indianapolis. This one's sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or online, sleepbettercolumbus.com.
The best teams don't always win titles. Sounds like AR and Maddie bragging about their fantasy teams.
Hey, that's cheating.
This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, second hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. There's a wild trend that might continue in the NFL. We'll talk about that at 1:30. And the Browns may also break precedent here in the NFL. We'll get to that. Plenty to do this hour. Appreciate you being along for the ride. Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes.
What up, what up?
And the Cannon at the switches. So Rory gets to a little bit of a media scrum before the final round or whatever. And, listen, he fought to make the cut. And I'm not giving him credit for that. He either wanted to be around or he didn't. Sometimes when rounds go south, they go south.
You could pull a Ryan Baker and play 9 holes and just say I'm done.
Right. In a sanctioned event. One that I showed up to. I mean,
they didn't do you right. Still, I don't like how
weird.
they did you up there. That was wrong.
Yeah, you're
Tito,
playing
you owe AR
ceremonial tee shot. Yeah, he invited me to play, and I'm like, no, it's Father's Day weekend. I'll be with my dad. Actually, I teased him on the text. I'm like, I can't play. It's Flag Day. So when I looked at Rory after that press conference, I thought he handled himself fine. I don't know if he's ever really taken the time to process everything he's need to process after winning. I started looking at the major winners, and he's got 5. He's got every one. And think about this. There are 6 men that have done that. 6 in the history of the game.
It's elite company, yeah.
Tiger, Jack, Ben Hogan, Gary Player, Gene Sarazen, and Rory. And that's pretty damn amazing. And so if that was his life goal, to win the Masters, and he grew up dreaming of it, and that was the last one and the elusive one, and he finally cashed in, I could definitely understand how now it would be not pedal to the metal. Because even he went up to even after he won the Masters, remember at the press conference, he said, so what are we going to talk about next year? Like it was one of those things, like it's been hanging around him, Maddie, forever.
Let me ask you this, AR, because you said maybe right now. We don't know exactly where he's at mentally with all that stuff, but if he is in a mindset of, I don't need to go all in with everything right now because I did get that elusive green jacket, isn't that his responsibility, though, is to be all in as one of the faces of the sport? I
think he was, Maddie, when the Live split happened.
Yeah.
And I think it's taken its toll. I think he was the poster child for the tour, and he's the one that said, we play for tradition. We play to win tournaments. Yes, the money's great, but I put a lot of stock in these tournaments that have been going on for decades, and they mean a lot. And I think that they put him out there to take the bullets, and he's taken them. And I think that the whole thing has just been, we assume that the greatest people at what they do are bulletproof. And I think he has shown that he is more than human. So to your point of, and let's hear this first, and because I think this goes to your point.
Is it part of the, you kind of carried the tour in your awards for 3 or 4 years now. You feel like you've earned a break?
I feel like I've earned the right to do whatever I want to do, yeah.
You have, in relation to that, kind of almost addressed the fact that the tour does not require that kind of thing. It's almost like you're daring them to do so in some way. Is that, in terms of a requirement for other players?
No, I'm not daring them to do anything. I hope they don't change it because it would, it's a nice luxury to have. But I'm just pointing out the fact that we have the ability to do it.
He's not Marshawn Lynch. He's not going to go to a podium and say, I'm here just so I don't get fined. They don't get fined. They don't have to talk. Mm-hmm. You and I look at this from a non-emotional place. Is it that difficult? Go to the podium. The golf media is not going to kill you. They travel with you. They go to these tournaments. They ask some questions, maybe some tougher ones than others. But for the most part, they basically say, talk about your round. There's not a, boy, you really stunk today. What happened? There's none of that. And so it shouldn't be that difficult. But there are times when they're probably the last people you want to see because you don't want to relive it. You want to go practice. You want to flush it out of your mind. You don't want to do that again. Yeah, so I understand your point about the responsibility of being a guy that's ranked where he is. And that's Tiger did. Jack talked. I mean, they did.
My only thing, and because, look, he has every right to do what the tour has allowed. And like you said, these guys are not contractually obligated to talk to the media. That's not what they have to do every single weekend. So I understand that. I think Rory could run into a problem, and maybe he's already at that point for some people, is when you talk to the media when things are good, but don't talk to the media when things are bad. I think that's a tough look for Rory. And I'm not saying you got to be all in or all out on either side, meaning, hey, I don't have to go down that road for Rory, but I think he's got to be careful with that. And the comment that he made within that clip that we just heard can rub people the wrong way. It's like a rich person telling you how rich they are. Like, we know. We know how accomplished you are. You don't need to come out and tell us that I've earned the right to do whatever I want. Like, that, to me, was a little over the line for Rory because while, yes, everybody does have a ton of respect for him because of what he is to the sport, on the other side of that, you don't want to, I think, rub those things in people's faces because that can, I think, turn some people off.
It's a good point. And it's probably something that was incredibly honest to a fault.
Yeah.
That he probably could have said, I pick and choose sometimes when I feel like I'm my own worst enemy. That if I relive these rounds, they're no good for me, and sometimes I choose not to. Sometimes talking to the media is therapeutic. He could have admitted that. Sometimes coming to you guys and getting it out in 3 minutes, I can go on with my evening now and not have it dwell, that I talked about it. And so I think it works for different guys. Some guys love to talk. Some guys will just open up. Yeah. And some guys, like Rory, I think he's finally hit a wall where he's been the nice guy. Like I feel like there's part of him. Now, he'll always be, I think, a nice guy. But I think he finally, when it got to the media, and this is my total guess, Masters hangover, that's real. I can see, you can see it.
Too much pimento cheese?
No, it's just real. The emotion. Worked his whole life to get it, got it, felt the weight of the world, and that finally came off. And instead of it freeing him up and the dam's broken, I'm going to go win 8 more majors, I think it was almost like his focus changed. Like, okay, the rest is gravy. I'm done.
That's disappointing if that is the mindset.
He may be able to get it back. What I mean is it's a hangover. It doesn't mean
like a short-term thing.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's forever.
Yeah.
He'll get his edge back. He's too good. And I think he is probably too competitive. Like, you can't be that guy and just be like, I'm a ceremonial guy now. I'll just go play when I feel like it, not matter. I think he could get it back. I think he's going through a lot right now. I think he's the Masters hangover, whatever's going on personally in his life, whatever's been written up about him, he's read apparently or seen, especially when it talks about his marriage and the allegations. And then certainly the fact that he's been the poster child for the tour. And I think he finally got to the point. And that line that he just said, I've earned the right to do what I want. Now, whether the Masters victory enabled him to say that, it's possible.
No, what enabled him to say that was him playing bad this past weekend and him being ticked off. I think that's what that's rooted in. I don't think if things were good for him this past weekend that he's coming out and throwing that line at the media. That I can do whatever I want.
He skipped the media after the U.S. Open when he lost to Bryson.
But I just think he was real edgy.
That was before.
I think he was edgy because he didn't play well again. And so baked into, I think, some of that emotion was what didn't go well on the course.
So you probably reduced it to the obvious, which is you're happier when you're playing well.
Correct.
That's
what this is.
Number one.
I'll say
His
this.
driver has not been kind. Oh, and also I forgot another thing, which is not a big deal. I don't know, the face of his driver got thin. It didn't pass inspections. It happened to Scheffler, too. Mm-hmm. He wasn't happy, apparently, that the story got leaked, which no big deal. It's not like you were using a corked bat. Like, honestly, when I heard that Rory's driver did not conform or something, everyone's like, oh, my goodness. Was he cheating? Like, no, he wasn't. Mm-hmm. And so I think he was pissed about that. I think it's all rolled into one. And he finally said, I don't have to be everybody's nice guy. I don't think I have to be the people pleaser. I think I've done it forever. And I think he finally hit a wall with, I won the Masters. I won the Grand Slam. They're still killing me for everything I do. Like, he finally looked at the media and said, I'm frustrated. I don't have to do it. They don't make me do it. Sometimes I will, sometimes I won't. Live with it. Like, I think I finally heard Rory, who doesn't want to be a villain. He's not a villain. Finally lean into,
well,
if it is, it is.
For decades, us wrestling fans never thought John Cena would go heel.
Script.
And now here we are.
Man, he's paid to go
where
heel.
John Cena is going heel on everybody. And I would love if Rory just turned heel on the world of golf. That's what they need. The sport needs that, is to have this guy telling everybody, go kick rocks. Go kick rocks. Yeah. I'll do what I want, and nobody can do a darn thing about it. That's what they need.
Tiger pissed off the media differently than Rory. He ticked off like fellow pros. Now, he eventually was like, okay, he's the man, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but when Tiger won, and he would go to the podium, say, I had my C game today.
Still whooped everybody's butts.
That's arrogance. Now that's
I love it.
That's a guy with that was the original humble brag. Whatever that was when they didn't have that phrase back then. That was it.
Yeah.
Won today. Surprised I won. Had my C game. His C game was everyone else's A game.
No doubt.
And that's the difference. Now, Rory is, listen, I'm going to root for him. Nobody plays well all the time. He's going through it. The focus is off.
He's making life tougher for himself, too, though, with some of this stuff. Because these are non-stories if he does what you said off the top of this segment. Go up there, answer a few questions, and go home.
Yeah. Hard for him to deal with because he was so on top of the world when he made that putt and he won in that playoff. Like, that's it. That's as high as it gets.
Yeah.
He's planted the flag. I reached the summit. I'm looking down from the top of the mountain. And guess what?
Golf will humble you.
Golf kind of pushed him off earlier than he thought. Can I enjoy the view a little longer?
No.
That's what he was saying.
You're Rory McIlroy.
I want to enjoy the view.
You got a different responsibility. You got different responsibilities when you're one of those guys, and he's one of the faces of the sport, and with that comes a lot of praise, but also a lot of criticism when you do some of this stuff.
All right, we come back. Should the Browns not bow to history themselves? We'll explain that next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Hey guys, it's Timmy Hall from my friends at Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. 2 years ago, I was actually experiencing hip pain for the first time in my life, and I knew I needed the best. So I chose Orthopedic One for my physical therapy needs. And in a matter of weeks, I was rotating that golf swing better than before, and I was the longest hitter in my group again. So be like me and trust Orthopedic One. Several convenient locations around Central Ohio. To find a physician or location near you, go to www.orthopedic1.com.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinder Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HinderMotorCompany.com.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with ONE+, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Ever wonder where your go-to maintenance person gets the metal products they need to fix yours and everyone else's problems? The best in the business go to Metal Supermarkets for their wide variety of metal products and shapes to tackle projects from simple to complex. Metal Supermarkets is your source for all metals cut to size and ready fast. No minimum order with maximum service. Visit the family-owned franchise on North Wilson Road or at Columbus at metalsupermarkets.com.
Earn $200 when you spend $2,000 in the first 90 days with a new Visa from Kemba Financial Credit Union. Plus, pay 0% APR on balances transferred in the first 90 days for 15 months. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. APR equals annual percentage rate. Offer ends June 30th, 2025. Equal opportunity lender.
Are you ready for 971 The Race? It all goes down Saturday, June 21st.
Presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center.
T-Bone, Reeser, Tyvus, and Common Man request your presence. 971therace.com. Do it.
Did you know 38% of Ohio's teenagers have spent money on gambling in video and online games? Items like mystery boxes, skins, and spin to win mimic gambling, putting children at a higher risk of experiencing a gambling disorder as an adult. So get in the know about youth gambling and start the conversation with discussion guides, parent resources, and more at changethegameohio.org. That's changethegameohio.org.
Are you in need of basic dental treatment but can't afford the cost? There may be a solution. Hi, I'm Dr. Hal Jeter, president of the Ohio Dental Association, and I'm excited to tell you about a program called Dental Options. Dental Options is a partnership between the Ohio Dental Association and the Ohio Department of Health, in which qualifying patients can be paired with a dentist to receive discounted or even free dental care. Eligibility for the program is based on your financial situation. For more information or to apply, call 1-888-765-6789.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
After a soggy start, we have chances of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast again today. If you're in between, it'll otherwise be mostly cloudy with our highs in the low 80s. For tonight, lows in the upper 60s with still chances of rain and storms overnight. Some downpours could be heavy at times. I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo for The Fan with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony's hidden talent is weaving a movie quote into every conversation. It's mostly not annoying. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, the big Browns decision, of course, is going to be which quarterback they view to be their leader this year, and then the pecking order. But there was always another question.
What's that?
In the last month. Who's going bye-bye?
How many you keeping, Andrew and Kevin?
Right. There's no way you can keep all four. No teams do that.
Tryouts.
Why in the world, of all teams that are trying to solve their quarterback situation, who shouldn't necessarily be tied to wins and losses this year, because what truly is their ceiling? And I'm not saying for the guys playing. I know that's different. They want to win every game. Coaches want to coach wins.
You're talking big picture.
Organizational big picture stuff.
No doubt.
So the assumption forever since the draft has been that they have to get rid of a quarterback. You have to. You can't go into the 25 season with Flacco, Pickett, Gabriel, and Sanders, and Deshaun obviously is just dead weight as far as the money. And do we have sound on this, or is this just a quote?
I've got a quote for you.
Okay, all right.
And this is coming from Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com. She reports that there's a chance they'll enter and exit the 2025 regular season without moving on from any of the quarterbacks. Quote, thanks in part to low base salaries and cap numbers for all of them, they can afford to keep all four from a financial standpoint, and it also makes sense from a roster building standpoint. So the money that she's talking about, the four quarterbacks, Flacco, Pickett, the two rookies, and Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, it's a combination of $7.6 million as a cap hit. So that's nothing crazy at all, especially with, quarterbacks making $55, $60 million on certain rosters around the sport. The one thing that I would love to ask Mary is the back end of that quote, that it makes sense from a roster building standpoint. I have questions about that because it's rare that we see teams do this and keep four quarterbacks. Usually it's 2, maybe 3 quarterbacks on your active 53-man roster. I don't love this idea. The financial angle of it, I get. But I don't want to give up an extra roster spot to a quarterback where I can have an extra offensive lineman, D lineman, whatever it is, especially those positions where guys are down there in the trenches and the physicality is at a higher clip than obviously what it is when you play quarterback. So I'm not in on this idea, AR. I think between Flacco or Pickett, you find one of those guys to move on from. Hopefully you could trade one of those dudes and get some type of draft capital in return. It would be a real head scratcher for your boy if they go into the season with 4 quarterbacks on their active roster.
So 2 things. One, yes, theoretically, you cut Flacco because he's not your future, and you let the 3 guys try out. Pickett has the leg up. You traded for him. You drafted the 2 others. Everyone's going to get their fair share this year unless somebody's a hot hand and you're winning games. Then you got to stay with them. But through injury or poor play, they all 3 should be able to get a chance. That would be probably on paper the way you do it. The only problem with that is Flacco gives you a higher floor, and Flacco's a veteran who they might want in that room to mentor the younger guys.
Yep.
Like, and feel like, okay, if one of these guys is the future, who better to have in there than this guy? Super Bowl champ, MVP, guy that's been around.
And real quick, AR, because I think you bring up a good point, a branch off this tree is he already had in some people's minds, questionable comment about mentorship.
Right.
Up there in Cleveland. So we don't really know how Flacco is going to be if he has to be tasked with that role. I think you're all over it as the guy that you would want to be that dude. It is Flacco. But that's why this all season I was kind of like, okay, like bringing a guy back like Jameis, you don't have to worry about that stuff. Jameis is all in on being a good teammate. Kevin Stefanski would tell me, well, Matty Ice, you watched the games, and you saw that I can't trust him on the field. That no doubt is a real aspect of all of this. But they need a leader in that room. Maybe Flacco will be that guy, but Jameis would have no doubt been that dude, the perfect teammate for the quarterback room they have. And that's why I think the Giants are going to be excited to have him over there with Jackson Dart now in the mix.
I guess I wasn't holding Flacco to the exact words. I figure he'd still be a good teammate. You're right. He's not holding mentor sessions at night.
The way Jameis probably would.
Yeah, but who would you rather be teaching you? You know, Flacco or a little bit or Jameis a lot?
If I was Shador or Dylan Gabriel, I want Jameis Winston around every day.
This is how you sling it around.
I want that energy around me every day.
I don't know. It's a little bizarre. That's bizarre energy. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's like we've got to keep these guys focused and not get distracted by snowflakes and things.
Pray God for. What did he say after the Denver game? What was it? I asked God to forgive me or release me from.
Deliver me from these.
Yeah, exactly. Deliver me.
I don't know.
It was awesome stuff from him last year, man. I loved it.
Yeah, they've done this before. It's not like this is crazy. They eventually cut Huntley, right?
They went into last year with 3. And Snoop Huntley, as you mentioned, I think was the odd man out with that.
But on the first 53, they had 4?
I don't think they did. I don't think they did, AR.
Yeah. It's not the worst decision. I like it more than you do.
Really?
Yeah, I do. It's too important. It's too important to find out. So I'm saying, if I had to cut one of them, it would be Flacco. Unless I know that Pickett is...
Yeah.
If I know enough about Pickett, then I can maybe get rid of him or move him along the way you're trying to do, and then just let the young guys share it up after Flacco gets you off the ground somehow. Get the plane in the air. Like, I think that's what he's about. Like, who's
going to land it?
That's it. I don't think you have a Sully Sullenberger on that roster. You might have to ditch it into Lake Erie. But I do feel like he gets you off the ground, and then it's all about the rotation. And if games go south, they go south. But if games go south, remember, this doesn't have to be, this could be in-game too. You know? You're down 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you're in. Like, I'm not saying you play musical quarterbacks to that point. You want to give guy a fair shake here, and you want to judge it correctly, more importantly. But I'm not that upset about it's so important to find out. Because you're not cutting Gabriel and you're not cutting Shador.
No, those guys are locks to be on the roster.
They
I
have
would think.
to be.
I think they're locks to be on this year's roster.
Even though you could make the case that if his name wasn't Shador Sanders and he was a 5th rounder and he was okay in practice, now you could easily cut him loose. But he's looked okay, and they feel like we got to see. Like, they really do believe that they lucked out. Can't believe he's still there. Like, it's weird because you could have had him earlier. I've said it a million times. Everyone has. And you didn't. You like Dillon because he was more experienced. You think Shador is good, but he doesn't have enough knowledge yet. He needs to get that knowledge. And so he needs to kind of be allowed to grow. The only one that makes sense to me is you either miscalculated on Pickett, and he's not what you think he can be, and then you go with Flacco and the 2 guys, or you cut Flacco, which I don't think they want to do because it's just doesn't feel secure enough, or you do what they're doing, possibly. You keep them all. And then you wait and see when you can move a guy.
Boy, that would be a fascinating scenario just to see how that plays out, AR, during games that matter.
It's not that bad of an idea.
I think it's an awful idea. See, I thought you'd be like, this makes no sense because I don't know.
You spent draft capital on 3 of the 4.
Yeah, but
so how do you get rid of?
I would not be worried about moving on from Kenny Pickett. I don't think that draft capital would haunt you down the road. I don't.
He could be the odd man out.
I don't.
But I don't know. Isn't he with the ones mostly?
They're all with the ones. All this stuff is all over the place with the reps. I'm not going to get carried away with anything that I've seen to this point, good or bad.
You think it's more likely that Pickett gets cut or traded than he starts?
Yes.
Ooh.
I do.
If those are the 3 doors, let's make a deal. Cut, trade, start. I think I'm leaning curtain 3 with the start.
That Kenny Pickett will start week 1 against the Bengals?
Not necessarily week 1, but I think he gets the first chance after Flacco.
Oh, I think it'll be Shador.
Wow. I don't know. Is he up to speed on everything?
I think it'll be Shador when we get to the games. I think Shador said, my guess is that Shador will start more games than Dylan Gabriel this year. Yeah. And he will be the second quarterback after Flacco, I think, to get reps. I don't think Pickett's going to be on the roster.
Yeah.
I don't.
So this whole idea of keeping 4 year.
I'm just, I don't know.
I'm not saying it's happening. I'm saying if it does happen, to me, it's not the worst idea to a franchise that's starved to find a quarterback. You're throwing a lot of stuff at the wall. I don't really care about Flacco. He's not your future. I really don't. I would keep the 3 and probably move him along if you felt confident. And if you win 1 game, 2 games, 3, who cares? At least maybe you will find more information about these dudes.
Folks, you know where you can find some really good information when it comes to finding a new car? It is the McDaniel GM Superstore in Merriam. This place is absolutely awesome. Short drive. You get up there. They will take care of you the way they took care of me. Got myself a new whip and driving this thing around for a couple weeks, and I absolutely love it. They have over 150 new vehicles on their website. No market adjustments or hidden costs. They've got a 2025 Silverado LD where you can get up to $12,000 off MSRP right now. You will be in great hands up there with my guy Eric. His teammates are just lovely to work with. Again, make a trip up to the McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
All right, coming back, 2 minutes. And a wild trend, could it continue in the NFL? And it's happened before, and maybe more than you think. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Make this your year. Looking for a new career in the high-demand fields of IT and cybersecurity? Attend classes live, online, or on campus. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Swimming in debt? Save your summer with a debt consolidation loan from BMI Federal Credit Union. With rates as low as 8.99% APR, now is the perfect time to consolidate your debt. Visit bmifcu.org/consolidate for more details.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
These two have a ton in common. Anthony loves hockey, and Maddie's always cold. This is Rothman and Ice.
If you would have asked me how many teams in the NFL have gone from first in their division to worst in their division over time, I would have said not many at all. That's a terrible tumble. But free agency and all that, and you add some stuff, but
injuries are, I'm sure, a major factor in some of those cases. I have to guess.
I think the Cannon. You said how many years in the last 6 or 8 has this happened?
I think it's happened. I think it was 5 times in the last 4 years, and maybe 6 times in the last 5 years. Obviously, this past season, San Francisco did it, so that'd be the most recent example.
First to worst.
And that's what it would take because, San Francisco got crushed by injuries last year. We know how elite their talent is when those guys are all right, but when you take out of the equation the Brandon Ayuks of the world and some of those other guys that miss time, that's not surprising to hear.
I'm betting against the trend. Not happening this year.
You don't think there's going to be a single first-place team that could go to the basement of their division? So for the folks that don't remember, in the AFC, it was the Bills, Ravens, Texans, and the Chiefs as your division winners. On the NFC side of this thing, it was the Eagles, Lions, Buccaneers, and the Los Angeles Rams.
No.
Let me throw this one at you.
Which one would be the most likely?
I think there are 2.
Let me throw this one by you
that are
guys.
likely?
Most likely. What you got, Ice?
This is probably going to sound a little crazy. But there's a world for me where the Detroit Lions finished last in the NFC North.
So it's amazing you guys. I was going to guess that you would say that because your mind goes to bad divisions, kind of like whatever, like who's going to fall off the mountain. You guys are looking at it from the real intelligent way to look at it, which is this isn't saying that the first place team becomes dreck.
Right.
This is that the rest of the division comes up to them.
I just think they have questions, for me, major questions of you lose both your coordinators. Aaron Glenn goes to be the head coach of the Jets. Ben Johnson now the head coach of the Chicago Bears. You lose your starting center, Frank Ragnow, who is a Pro Bowl player, really good offensive lineman for years. Aaron Glenn, he gone, right? And so it's the combination of what they've lost on that coaching staff, Frank Ragnow, and the division. The division is really darn good, and I think both the Bears, Packers, and the Vikings will all be in that mix, all be respectable teams. And if that shift happens, because I believe we saw this from the Philadelphia Eagles 2 years ago where they made some coordinator changes, and the bite wasn't the same. And I would not be surprised if that happens to the Detroit Lions this year. That was the one team that I thought about where they could be good, but maybe not as dominant as
Hutch will be back. Hutchinson will be back.
And that's wait and see mode, right, to see how explosive he can be with that leg and how he can get around the edge and do those things he was so good at prior to being hurt.
I don't see that roster combined with that culture. And I know you brought up the coordinators, that's real, but the Dan Campbell culture, I don't see them going to last place. But what you're saying is that last place in that division may not be awful.
It's respect to the other teams in that division, more so than – or I guess it's a combination for me. But, yeah, it's the Packers, Vikes, and the Bears thinking for me that I think they can be pretty for real.
Tell you what, if Minnesota won that division, if they won that Week 18 game, I would have loved to have picked them to get last place here. I think that they would have been a lot safer of a bet moving on from Sam Darnold to J.J. McCarthy, because then you can say, well, which other team who won the division last year is starting basically a rookie quarterback this year? Mm-hmm. So I think that they would have been kind of the runaway favorite. But I'm kind of with you on Detroit a little bit. Frank Ragnow's retirement kind of throws a wrench into the mix. I kind of see it. Now, I think the Chicago Bears hype is starting to border on Aaron Rodgers of the Jets.
It is.
Where it was kind of out of control. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, well, now we were kidding last year. We didn't know Aaron Rodgers was going to blow a tire in the fourth play of the season. But now we're serious, and then we just do it all over again. And so kind of having the PTSD of how everybody just treated the Jets the past 2 years, I'm kind of thinking that it's almost like too good to be true for the Bears. So they are worrying me a little bit. But I'm kind of with you a little bit on Detroit. They're in my top 2.
Okay.
Well, I'm on the other side. I don't think this is happening. But if you force me to pick, I'd have to maybe look at the NFC West. If we believe the Niners are going to bounce back. If the Niners become a 9-8 football team, then there's a chance.
My only problem with that is
the Darnold factor.
The Darnold and Kyler Murray stuff. That's my only thing when it comes to NFC West.
It's unlikely.
Yeah.
But take San Francisco out of the equation for a second. What's the difference between Arizona and the Rams? 2 wins. I'm just saying.
See, I don't view it that way. I think there's a pretty large gap between those two.
2 wins.
Head coach and quarterback and the roster itself. Last year's results, no doubt. You're right. It's a 2-win gap between them. I just don't think Arizona's close to where the Rams are right now.
So let's go to the last place teams because I think that's the key in this whole equation. New England. They going to be better than Buffalo?
No.
Okay.
Not this year.
Browns. Are they going to be better than your Ravens?
No.
No. Titans. Are they going to be better than the Texans? No. The rookie. No.
Well, hold on.
Okay. Hey, look.
I don't think anybody was.
I'm not saying the Texans are great.
I'm just saying I don't think anybody. I didn't hear it. I wasn't thinking it. That was anticipating Washington making the leap that they made last year. Now they didn't win their division, but they ended up in the NFC title game. The only reason why I'm leaving this open is Colts have massive question marks at quarterback. We don't know what that's going to look like. Does anybody really trust Jacksonville and that cast of characters right now? And so Houston's going to be the favorite to win that division, and rightfully so. But if the Cam Ward thing is real, the way we've seen it be real with both Houston and Washington with rookie quarterbacks hitting the ground running, I'm not going to completely shut the door on that just because I have questions about the other teams around that division.
I'm not. Yes. I'm just trying to say, could the first place team be worse than the last place team last year?
If I threw out the Raiders and said they do not exist, would the Chiefs be viable to finish third in the division?
Yes. If you throw out the last place team, which we can't, but that's why I'm going to the West, because I think that the last place team in the West is the best last place team in the league. And if they improve at all, then the Rams, there could be a swap here. It's possible. They're just too jumbled in the NFC West. And I'm not picking it. I'm just saying I'm picking it over Detroit finishing last.
The Niners just have all those question marks on defense, right? A lot of the guys that they lost defensively. You bring back Robert Saleh as your defensive coordinator. They seem comfortable with him based off of his time in San Francisco before he left. I think offensively they're still going to be really good. I do. Obviously, health is a major factor, but if they do get health from the cast of characters they have on offense, I think they're going to be an elite unit. And if that defense can hold their weight or hold their end of the bargain, I think the Niners are going to be a team that you got to deal with still. I still think they got the goods.
That's why I'm leaning. If I had to lean one area, I'd go NFC West. Are the Giants going to be better than the Eagles?
Absolutely not.
Are the Saints going to be better than Tampa?
I was thinking about the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers were not tremendously convincing to me. And so the thing is, it's kind of like a Raiders thing. It's like, how good could the Raiders possibly be to even entertain the idea of the Chiefs? Same thing with the Buccaneers. How good could the Saints possibly be to entertain somebody else getting last?
For this conversation, that's what it is. It's just don't finish last.
Yeah.
And then could it be possible that the Niners could be better than the Rams?
I still think there's life in Bryce Young, by the way.
The answer is yes.
I think so.
That's why I'm going. That's why I'm going there. And I left out yours because I want to get your opinion real fast on that. Could the Bears be better than the Lions this year?
To me, yeah. I'm drinking the Bears Kool-Aid.
10 wins.
I am drinking the Bears Kool-Aid this year.
You had them last year? You were drowning in Kool-Aid last year?
I really am. Now I'm taking shots of Kool-Aid. Now you got Ben Johnson in there.
He's already crashed through the wall, Matty.
Listen, man.
He's going to go through this wall now.
He really is. But look, I love the thought of pairing an offensive mind. And look, he's a rookie head coach, Ben Johnson. So that's me going out on a limb. But what they've done down in the trenches, I love. And now you get Caleb Williams with some protection and some good weaponry around him. I'm in. I'm in on the Bears more so than I am the Packers right now.
Jordan Love had a better passer rating this year than he had last year. We'll see if they can.
I like Jordan Love, man.
Get him some weapons. Get those weapons to be consistent.
He's a
all
good
that
player.
good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to come back. Buckeye Bulletin is next. One Buckeye rookie impressing his quarterback. And it's a team we just talked about. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
When sudden illness or injury strike, Ohio State offers 3 types of urgent care to meet any of your needs. From traditional urgent care to our specialized orthopedic urgent care for activity-related injuries and advanced urgent care for more serious injury and illness, Ohio State's experts treat everything from broken bones to ear infections and colds and flu. When your illness or injury can't wait, the choice is clear.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I got the nicest Google review today. Dewey from Gehanna said, "We cannot believe we are able to get the Pella look and quality at the cost we did."
I got a review too. Listen to this. "These windows were great." Oh boy, for about a year. Looks like I'll need to renew, in quotes for some reason. My window's way too soon. Repeat customer?
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
What does it mean to live here, serve here in the Ohio Army National Guard?
It means I can attend college full-time and not have to take out student loans to pay for my tuition.
It means I can work my civilian job during the week and support my state and nation in times of need.
You too can live here, serve here as a member of the Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with full-time benefits at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Morning Juice is live on YouTube. Weekday mornings starting at 6. Or on demand whenever you want it. Yeah, whenever. Bobby Carpenter's at your beck and call. And Tito's there too, to clean the toilets. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Career changers, including veterans and active duty service members. Your transition starts here. Go from GI to IT in a matter of months. Become a certified cyber warrior with training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, offering IT pros great opportunities and a rewarding lifestyle while protecting our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. Deploy your career in IT today. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify.
Progressive knows when you're in your RV, you're already on vacation. That's when you become Vacation You, who just camped where there's absolutely no shade. Even though regular you burns easily. In fact, Vacation You burns too, but is too stubborn to admit it, which is why regular you gets in trouble at the dermatologist because Vacation You doesn't do doctors. So bundle your RV with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, if you would have just heard the conversation that we had during the break, and I'll share it with you. I want to bring up the curtain. We love you listeners. We want you to feel welcome.
Yeah.
We don't want to have, yes, we have some inside jokes, but you're a part of them, and we want you to feel a part of this.
No doubt.
So I was reading about this recruit named Sincere Johnson.
Love it.
Glenville. Edge dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Explosive player. Where are we on Sincere Johnson? This decision is coming when? Or what's going on about commitment dates and all that?
Thursday is when that's all going down. He is between Ohio State, Penn State, and Alabama.
Okay. So I looked at Maddie and I said two things. I said, one, if we could change your first name from Matthew to just a word, what would that be? And he's like, oh, man, I don't know. And I said, well, what characteristics do you associate with yourself? And he said, easygoing. And I first said, no, I'm kidding. Man. I don't think we could call you Easygoing Hayes.
Easygoing Ice?
I just think Easygoing Ice might be, but that's the first nickname.
It's not great, though.
We'd have to come up with something.
There's something better out there.
I don't know if you want to go with the something with an H to kind of make the alliteration, like Happy-Go-Lucky Hayes. Or like what if your name was Happy-Go-Lucky?
You know what the problem is,
like
though?
Hopalong Cassidy or something.
Yes.
The problem is when you have that name, you have to live up to it all the time.
All the time.
You know, because we all have those days where
Don't do it.
Life's lifing and just things just suck, you know?
Yeah, you don't seem too easygoing today.
That's what I'm saying.
Happy-go-lucky. What happened to him?
Where's that guy
Evil twin.
Tell it to Tyvis. He's always in a good mood.
You know what? He really is.
When we see him.
I've never interacted with Tyvis.
MFing us on the drive home.
Where the dude's been in a bad mood. I think it's impossible. And he's been that way his whole life. But I don't think Tyvis does have bad days publicly. To your point, maybe there's a couple of days, I don't know. But yeah, Tyvis could get away with happy-go-lucky, pal.
Even-tempered Tyvis. Your new name is even-tempered. You mean hyphenated? Hyphenate? Yeah. Even-tempered. That's your new name. Anyway, this is Sincere Johnson.
Yeah, and some of the old crystal balls out there in the recruiting world have Ohio State as a pretty strong favorite to get it done. I know Bill Kurlick, friend of the program, he has Ohio State as his prediction. It looks like a national analyst, Nick Osen for 24/7 Sports, has Ohio State as his prediction as well. So the people that are really tapped into the recruiting world feel like, Larry Johnson, Ryan Day, and the crew are going to get this thing done with Sincere Johnson. And it always is cool for me, AR, when you get the Cleveland, Glenville, Ohio State connection rolling the way it was for years.
The pipeline.
Yeah, man.
Talk about the pipeline.
Yeah, used to be great. So maybe Sincere Johnson will be another one of those guys in the mix.
We were talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Baker Mayfield has himself a Buckeye. And he was talking about Emeka's arrival, and it has sparked some serious praise.
Obviously, the physical tools, but at this level, you got to have talent. Obviously, he has that, being a first-round draft pick. The thing that sticks out is how cerebral he is. He's so smart. Right now, I think we could plug and play him at any receiver spot. He understands the offense that well, and that's just him being a pro already. And he's not a rookie. He doesn't act like it, at least. So it's been really good to see him take that ownership. He takes it extremely serious, but he's in constant communication. He always wants to be in the right spot at the right time, and he's much like J-Mac of the understanding in zone coverage, and Chris as well, of understanding when to be open, the voids in the zone defense, and how to be friendly to the quarterback. So it's a nice luxury to have.
Really making up for that flag planting, isn't he? Like coming full circle.
Oh, man.
Gotta love them Buckeyes.
That endorsement of Emeka right now, I don't know if it could get any stronger. I think what he said at the end is very critical, is that Emeka already has the feel of where to be, right, for a quarterback. And for a vet like Baker, you got to love that. But earning the trust of your quarterback this early is awesome for Emeka. Not surprised to hear anything that we just heard about him, because we've heard those same things for years when it comes to his craft, how he goes about his business, the brain power that he has about being a wide receiver, that's going to have him hit the ground running down there in Tampa. And this gives me vibes of their wide receiver trio of what JSN walked into in the NFL in Seattle a couple of years ago, where he had Lockett and DK Metcalf as veterans to look up to and learn from. Same thing could be said for Emeka, right? You got Chris Godwin and a Hall of Famer and Mike Evans every day. That's just an awesome situation to be in, and especially when there's some uncertainty around Chris Godwin and his availability maybe early on in the season, coming back from a pretty significant injury. So maybe he will be ready to go. But if he's not ready to go, won't be surprised if Emeka's holding it down. But that trio, those guys are out there week in and week out. They're going to be making a lot of noise.
3 wide receiver sets, he's perfect. He really is. And it's weird because his comp is essentially JSN. Like, that's kind of who he can be in the NFL and maybe even more. And he just tracks the ball really well. And you like to hear those other things that he talked about him with the IQ and being able to present yourself to a quarterback the right way on the field and off and have that trust factor that you talked about. But if you're running heavy 3 wides,
yeah, that's it.
It's pretty dangerous.
You took me right where I wanted to go. I'm glad you brought it up because their offense is similar to what we see from the Bengals, right? I mean, they're in that, quote, 11 personnel as you're talking about. They were in that 78% of the time Tampa was a year ago. So the ball's going to be up in the air a lot, and Emeka's going to be doing some damage if he's healthy.
All right, that is today's Buckeye Bulletin.
Folks, join us for the inaugural 97.1 The Fan, The Race, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center. It is a 5K run and 1 mile walk happening June 21st at Otterbein University in Westerville. Some of your favorite fan personalities will be in the building, including Tyvis Powell, T-Bone, Common Man, Eric Reeser. Adam King's going to be out there sweating it out in a suit and tie. So get on out there and have some fun with our guys and the folks that you love most. Every participant gets a finisher's medal, a race shirt, free photos, and some awesome gifts from Logan Services and Raising Cane's. The inaugural 97.1 The Fan, The Race is presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center and sponsored by Impact Health and Wellness and by the Ohio State University Army ROTC. Sign up today at 971thefan.com. Again, you can sign up today at 971thefan.com.
All right, we'll come back top of the hour Sports Center update, and we'll get into some Chet Roulette. He'll spin the wheel, and I have a feeling he's got some rankings for us to consider. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. New special guests in everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
This Hall of Fame moment highlights the last blast at the ballpark, which had served as the home of the Reds for over 32 years. On Sunday, September 22nd, with the 2002 season entering its final week, the third-place Reds hosted the Philadelphia Phillies for what would be the final game at what was then called Synergy Field. A crowd of 40,964 was on hand when third baseman Aaron Boone came to the plate with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th.
Here's a long drive left field, and it's gone. A home run for Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone hits his 25th home run of the season. He becomes only the 7th player in Reds history to record at least 25 home runs and 25 steals in a season. Joining the likes of Larkin and Sanders and Sabo and Davis and Daniels and Morgan. 4-3 score. And a big home run for Aaron Boone.
The Phillies would come out on top 4-3. And Aaron Boone's 8th inning shot would go into the record books as the last home run hit at the ballpark that opened as Riverfront Stadium in June of 1970. The Hall of Fame moment is brought to you by Western and Southern Financial Group. With their financial strength behind you, visit westernsouthern.com.
Common Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain interoffice emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I've been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
From military life to a rewarding career in IT, kickstart your new journey in a matter of months in the fields of IT and cybersecurity, including AI. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including VA benefits.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply. Available in app only.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. Reliable streams of income are crucial for retirees, and Social Security and pensions aren't enough. We can help. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Capace from Worthington Jewelers.
And I'm his very overpaid celebrity endorser, Common Man. Bob, I heard somewhere, actually from you many, many times, that Worthington Jewelers is where Columbus gets engaged.
It's too bad you and Timmy can't engage the audience.
Good zing, Bob.
If you're thinking of popping the question, there's only one place to go.
Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington. WorthingtonJewelers.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Central Ohio contractors and homeowners. Tired of overpriced, low-quality cabinets? Well, it's time to upgrade your cabinet game. 3D Cabinetry is your go-to for fast, hassle-free service and cabinets you can trust from order to install. 3D Cabinetry delivers fully assembled all-wood affordable cabinets. No delays, no stress. Just quality craftsmanship delivered on time every time. Get started with your free consultation today at 3dcabinetry.net. That's 3dcabinetry.net, where quality meets affordability and reliability.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. There was no baseball in the state of Ohio yesterday, but the Reds, Guardians, and Clippers all start new series this evening. Down in Cincinnati, the Reds welcome the Minnesota Twins to Great American Ballpark at 7:10. Andrew Abbott's had a great season for the Reds so far. He looks to continue that on the mound tonight. Coverage over on ESPN Columbus gets underway at 6:40. Cleveland is out on the West Coast, taking on the San Francisco Giants at 9:45. Slade Ciccone gets the start for the Guards opposite Robbie Ray. It's time of dog night over at Huntington Park as Columbus hosts the Indianapolis Indians at 7:05. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals tonight down in Florida at 8. The Panthers win the Cup with a win over the Oilers. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Rates as low as 5.54% and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance your auto loan with BMI.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
All right, final hour of the program. We'll do a little chat roulette in moments. Anthony Roth and Matty Ice Hayes with you. Big game 6 tonight. Edmonton, Florida. Yes, I know it feels over. And Skinner is back in the net because they're going to live and die with their starter. I was a little worried about Pickard. I put him in the pressure cooker on Friday.
Okay.
Because I think when you go from relief, he had a 7-0 record, but with a save percentage under 900. But it didn't matter. They were winning with him. So they were a different team with him. But relieving and then being this, it's just different pressure when you have to go in and try to just save a game from not getting any worse. It's a lot different than being the starter. And so now they are going back to Skinner, and I didn't think they would, but the way last game went, they're going to kind of live and die with their guy. And now they need another comeback. Down 3-2 to Florida on the road. This is a massive hill to climb. They have a puncher's chance. They have enough offense to do this. They've come back in games. The 2 victories were comebacks. They're a little bit like Indiana. When you think they're done, they prove to you that maybe not yet.
Yeah.
And so I was all ready to lean towards Florida not only winning, but winning by 2. Because at the end, you're going to pull. There'll be an empty biscuit. There might even be 2 of them. But then I had to stop myself and say, well, what if this game is just tighter? All these games are going over. Wouldn't it be weird? This one goes under of all the ones that go under.
If I had to guess, it would be a Game 7 where things would get a little tighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, Skinner, I don't know how Edmonton could have much confidence right now with him in that based off of how things have gone in the final here where he's averaging, giving up 4 goals a game.
Just hoping.
That's all you can do is hope.
The rest.
And I understand. He got you to this point. You want to see it through with that guy. But as we've been watching these games unfold, he just does not have it right now. And it's arguably the most important position out there is that guy being able to slow down the opposing offense and not allowing those biscuits in net. So the environment's going to be awesome down there. I think Florida does close it out tonight. I think Bob grabs himself another one. And, look, I'm kind of happy for the guy's success. I know things didn't end well here with the financial component and all of that stuff, but the way that he's played for the most part down there in Florida, it looks like he's going to be on the right side of history because he's got the Vezina and he's going to have, the Stanley Cup stuff on his resume as well.
Yeah, he had to fight a lot of it early in the playoffs and the lack of success and all that. Yeah. And then he gets over the hump. And so the rest of this feels a little bit like gravy, but I do feel like, listen, there's pressure on him. He's probably on the better. First of all, that's the best defensive team in the league. With him, it really is. I said before this series that this was best offense versus best defense. Mm-hmm. It had that feel to it. And Skinner needed to not be all world. He needed to be solid. He was better in the playoffs than the regular season. Wasn't crazy better. And now he's coming back off of getting yanked. And Bobrovsky gets all the goal support he usually needs.
Hey, let me ask you this real quick. You get down early. If you're Edmonton, let's say it's 1-0, 2-0. You got to pull them, don't you?
Not a 2-0. No.
Really?
Well, it depends on what the goals were. They're not on him. You're not pulling him.
Yeah.
2-0 is not an end of a game. Even 3-0, they've proven they can come back from down 3-0.
See, I think if I'm running the show,
it's the kind of goals. If they have breakdowns.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think, though, AR, if they are 2 goals that you could identify as on Skinner,
real soft,
you got to pull them. I think you have to tonight. You got to go to something else at that point. It would be a 2-0 deficit.
2-0 is not.
It's not the end of the world.
Anything to worry about. If there's something weird mentally and you feel like he just doesn't have the focus or mentally he's off.
That's what I would be worried about is not only his mental capacity to handle that, but the team as well.
Well, and that's why I was riding Pickard because they seem to play different with him.
With him in there.
They just seem to. I don't know whether he gave him a little spark of confidence or whatever, but here we are. The goaltending that's been provided by Edmonton has not been near good enough to win a Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've got to go in there and defy the odds. The odds are that
it's a wrap.
That it's a wrap.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'll tell you what. I'll give you the percentage on that when we get into pre-snap. Little Chet roulette here to open the third hour.
Bum bum ba bum bum ba 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 ba. Here we go.
Right then. Chet roulette. Spinning the wheel.
The first thing that we have to do, as we discuss Chet roulette, we have to shout out Gage Wood of the Arkansas Razorbacks. I'm not a huge college baseball guy, and I'm not particularly interested in breaking down every single game of the College World Series, but was it a 19 strikeout no-hitter?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't like that it happened against Murray State because they were a little bit of a Cinderella story.
The Fighting Ja Morants.
That's right, the Fighting Ja Morants. You learned yesterday that Murray State is in which state?
Oh, no.
Kentucky. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, that's
Thank
right.
you. You
Kentucky.
scared me for a second. I was about to say we had this conversation trying to figure out which state Murray State is in. It is in Kentucky. I wish it didn't happen to them because they were a little bit of a fun underdog story, but Gage Wood, he is the number 50 overall prospect in the upcoming MLB draft. 19 strikeout no-hitter to knock out the Racers.
He earned some money yesterday. No relation
Is that the most ever in a College World Series game?
I would be surprised if it's
it
not.
has to be.
I would be surprised if it isn't. That any relation to Kerry Wood, who threw 20 Ks in a game. That would really make all this come full circle. I think if that were the case, we would have heard that by now. But that's where my mind went to, is maybe this was an uncle or something. Kerry Wood, he learned from his uncle.
I cannot find the word Gage on Kerry Wood's Wikipedia page.
Okay. No, it was cool. I've seen some of the highlights. AR, I did not watch the game live, but seeing him just mow down Murray State was impressive. I mean, I don't care. 19 Ks, I don't care who you're playing against. You're doing some good stuff there.
Glad you brought up Kerry Wood. I remember, so I was anchoring at Channel 6 that weekend.
Okay.
Can't remember, I think it happened on a weekend. And Kerry Wood was literally shaking in the postgame, like his hand was shaking. And I remember, instead of just running, I ran every single K. I cut every single K back to back to back, all of them.
All 20 of them.
Cool. It was unbelievable that day at Wrigley. But you're saying no relation?
I don't think so.
Am I correct in saying that was Kerry Wood's rookie year?
Seems like it.
Okay. Well, anyway, so what we were
So
going to
Gage Wood breaks the all-time. This says all-time MLB record set by Kerry Wood.
Well, that's got to be
What
a
is that?
misleading headline. Anyway,
Yeah, because it wasn't an MLB game. So what formula were they talking about?
No report this morning about Gage Wood blowing out his arm. No report that, 119 pitches, that's too many. He had to retire. Nothing like that.
Yes, because here's where I'm at. I'm glad you brought that up, TLC. I am always in favor of, when you have a chance to make history as an individual player or a team, go get it. Go get it. Like, I don't think you pass up on those opportunities, whether it's for, I don't know, sportsmanship or any of that stuff. Like, this is your chance. You get into these realms of sports to make history and make a name for yourself. I am always in on going to accomplish those goals, whether it's a no-hitter, a certain point total in basketball, or whatever it is.
I got two examples.
Like, go
for
get
you.
it.
Well, the no-hitters now, we've talked about this. They've been completely diluted by baseball. The pitchers don't look as upset anymore. They hit their pitch count. They want to be saved. Everyone seems like they're heading for Tommy John at some point in time. You're just trying to get ahead of it. It's like I hear a Pirate fan. We got to trade Paul Skeens now. He's going to get
today.
Tommy John surgery at some point. Let's get ahead of that. So I feel like you're right. To me, the no-hitter of all things in sports, which is so special, has been diluted, and they're all in on it. Like, they don't care anymore. I mean, I'm going to say they don't care. But they don't.
I think
no one can. The fans aren't like, I can't believe you took him out pitching a no hitter. Nope, hit his limit. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I don't like that. Because these teams they're playing the long game, right? A lot of times, especially in Major League Baseball, right? When you're a playoff team and you think that you can go deep into the postseason, you need that guy to be as fresh as possible. But these no hitters are still rare enough to me to where, as TLC was, alluding to, you get a pitch count up to $110, $115, like keep going until you give up a hit.
Yeah, hey, I'll give you an update. I'll give you an update on Quinn Matthews. Quinn Matthews was the Stanford pitcher a couple years ago who threw 156 pitches because their back was against the wall, and it was his final year of college baseball, so he said, I'm going. Guess what? He's in the Cardinals farm system, from what I can tell, hasn't missed any time.
There you go.
See?
Didn't blow out the arm, huh?
No. 156. Maybe you dial back the MPH a little bit.
There you go. That's the real nerdy baseball stuff, ARs. It's the velocity with how hard these guys are throwing nowadays.
Just a little bit later.
It's like, it's not even surprising anymore when you watch a game and you see guys throwing 90. Like 95 used to be like, okay, this dude's really spinning it at a high clip. Now you've got, the Chapmans of the world and Skeens of the world. Where they're touching buck 101, a buck 1. Like, it's crazy, like the velocity that's out there. And I think reading into some of the stuff that's been out there about baseball, it's the velocity of how hard they're throwing that's connecting to some of these arm injuries.
I got 2 examples for you. I don't know what year it was. It was in the past 3 years. Clayton Kershaw, it was in April, for whatever that is worth for the context. In April, in Minnesota, got yanked from a no-hitter and then defended Dave Roberts' decision.
That's right.
And said
that it was the right call.
Hey, man, we got a long way to go with this season.
Especially him.
So I think it's what both you guys said. His age with Clayton Kershaw and the perspective of what the Dodgers are. Big picture is we're going to be the last team standing, and they were last year.
And the second one.
It's about winning the game, by the way, also. Like, that's why guys are a little bit like, I think Kershaw was 6 outs away. Like, that's pretty close. I mean, that's...
You might as well.
Well...
Yeah, if you're 6 outs away, we need that no-no.
Well,
and combined no-hitters do not count.
Correct.
And
No. Well, they count, but...
I don't count.
You mean they all take a piece of it?
No, I'm saying I don't recognize
Cutting
those.
that baseball?
And you have 5 pitchers throwing a no-hitter.
Yeah, it doesn't move me.
And then the other example, Klay Thompson got benched with 60 points at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, go get 80.
Yeah.
Go get 70.
Why do you get benched? Because the game was over?
Because the game was over. And then we would have had to have the whole sportsmanship conversation, which is overblown, especially
running up the score.
Well, the other way you can look at it the other way is he's scoring his final 20 against scrubs, and it doesn't matter.
But at the end of the day, if it was an 80-point game, I think that's just how we would view it in years down the road. Could be wrong, but I don't think I would be thinking, it was against.
So what we're saying is that Kershaw was probably more upset at Busch Stadium when they put that thing on the Jumbotron than he was being pulled in a no-hitter with 6 outs to go.
Tremendously more upset.
That's right. It's crazy. And he has a no-no. Maybe that's all he needed. Maybe it's... Yeah, check the box.
Walking right into Cooperstown when he's
maybe there was a little bit of him being chesty, like, you know what?
I have one.
I've already done that.
Yeah.
No big deal.
If he didn't have one,
he's
that would have been rough. That would have been rough.
I don't think he would have that perspective. I think he'd bring up a good point. You don't have one? Hey, I'm doing everything I can to stay out here.
All right. We'll come back. Can we count on this quarterback? Somebody says we should. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple is Steve and Irma and Margie prefer lasagna and empanadas.
OMG.
No need to make work life more complicated. Just use EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with ONE+, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
So we bought an actual shopping mall and put one of the largest Honda dealerships in the world inside of it. Hi, it's Steve Lindsay with Lindsay Honda. So it's big. We house about 150 to 200 cars indoors, lit, all unlocked, ready for you to be able to view and see. A fully tempered climate. Doesn't matter if it's raining outside, 10 below zero, super hot. There's real trees inside, and it's just a casual environment. And if you haven't seen it, it's really a cool story, not about its opulence. It's just a cool story to see what was a dilapidated old mall being reinvigorated into a pillar in the community that everybody benefits from.
This month at Lindsay Honda, choose a 2025 Honda Ridgeline RTL, Honda HR-V or CR-V, and pay just $299 a month at our famous Lindsay Honda Trade-A-Thon. We'll trade for anything and give you $1,000 more for your vehicle all month long. Visit lindsayhonda.com for details.
Earn $200 when you spend $2,000 in the first 90 days with a new Visa from Kemba Financial Credit Union. Plus, pay 0% APR on balances transferred in the first 90 days for 15 months. Visit Kemba.org. Restrictions apply. APR equals annual percentage rate. Offer ends June 30th, 2025. Equal opportunity lender.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
The Fan is the official station of summertime. Sipping on a lemonade, the smell of fresh-cut grass in the air, and Common Man playing fart noises on the radio.
Was that a fart?
Ah, summer. The Fan, Ohio's summer destination.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property? However, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
After a soggy start, we have chances of showers and thunderstorms in the forecast again today. If you're in between, it'll otherwise be mostly cloudy with our highs in the low 80s. For tonight, lows in the upper 60s with still chances of rain and storms overnight. Some downpours could be heavy at times. I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo for The Fan with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Leads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Maddie, Bet365 time.
Let's do it because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians out on the left coast. A little late night action coming at you if you're a Guardians fan, taking on the Giants, 9:45 first pitch there, which would be fun to watch them, AR, now that they got Rafael Devers. They made a big trade, the Giants did, just the other day. If you're a new person looking to get into the betting sports world, come on over to Bet365 because they have a great new sign-up offer just for you where you can bet $5 and you will get $150 in bonus bets whether your bet wins or loses.
All right, so I was all ready to say take the value on Florida laying a goal and a half. Like if they win tonight, they're going to win by, it feels like they'll win by 2 or more if they win.
Yeah, I like it.
That's plus 160.
Ooh, juicy.
I'm not saying they couldn't win by a goal or they couldn't lose the game. Of course they can. Just feel like if Edmonton's down a goal in the third, 3 minutes to go,
I love this.
You could get 2 empty netters for all I know. But then I was texting a couple people about people that know a lot more even than I do, and I feel like
slight flex, TLC. Sneaky.
No.
Sneaky.
No, I meant like I thought I'd get more of a.
I know a lot, but man.
No, I didn't mean it that way. I meant like people that have a little more inside feel.
Some people that maybe in some high-ranking positions in the world of hockey at some point in time.
They feel like it's not
that's a flex
it's
too.
not over.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
that's how I took
it's not as done of a deal as I think it is.
Okay.
No, the part that I was talking about, he was flexing when he said people who know even more than me.
I didn't mean it that way.
You didn't hear the word even?
I should have said follow it more.
He is an amazing. He's a hockey aficionado.
All right.
He is.
How about this? What about Stuart Skinner?
No.
Do we bet him over or under 25.5 saves?
Over, under. Under.
Can he rise up?
Under?
I feel like I'd rather bet. So Bob's over-under is 27.5. And I feel like, can Edmonton are they going to go down shooting final? Like, really make him work?
You'd think so.
Defense, though, for Florida.
I know.
Yeah,
it's like getting 28 saves.
I know you like their defense. I'm sticking with your original.
Lay a goal and a half.
Yes.
Because
I like that.
Because at the very worst, we see a great game.
Yeah.
Or we're going 7.
Which I'm in
and
for
I'm
that
okay,
as well.
and I'm in for that as well.
Yeah.
So I'll lay the goal and a half with Florida tonight plus 160.
Okay, I'm looking at my boy Ellie De La Cruz, who is on one.
He is.
Right now. 4 straight games with a home run in the month of June. This man is batting .378 with a handful of home runs. So Ellie is cooking right now. I'm going total bases for old Ellie tonight against Minnesota. 2 total bases plus 110. I like the juice on that. So that's what I'm going to roll with there. But I really like your hockey bet as well. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Today, 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
So, you guys remember the race? Tyreek Hill against Noah Lyles?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
The race.
That hasn't happened yet, right?
It hasn't happened, and it's not going to happen.
Wait, what's going on?
So, we're going to have a gold medalist sprinter go up against Tyreek Hill. And we've been looking for this for months. And in France yesterday, Lyles said it was supposed to have taken place in New York last weekend.
Oh.
But
so who's ducking who?
Personal reasons.
Okay.
We don't know. We were very deep into creating the event. In fact, it was supposed to happen this weekend. Unfortunately, there were things, complications, personal reasons that it just didn't come to pass. We were going to have a big event. We were going to shut down New York, Times Square, and everything. We were going to have all the billboards. It was going to be a lot of fun.
You're telling me it's a wrap. It's cooked.
You're not getting points for the buildup. What those personal reasons are is anybody's guess.
Let me ask you this.
Hill has been, I think it's the personal reasons he doesn't want to say is what Hill's involved with.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that the domestic allegations in April with his wife filed for divorce? And
there's been a lot swirling around him.
Yeah,
There's
he had
no
a wrist injury. Like, I don't.
Let me throw this at you.
Are you talking about Tyreek Hill or
Antonio?
Yes, Tyreek Hill.
Oh, Antonio Brown's got some headlines going on too that are.
We saw that one.
Okay.
That was. Have he turned himself in, or have they found him or anything, or talked to him?
I read that headline.
It was a manhunt.
Wow. Let me ask you this, GM Rothman, because I know you weren't a huge fan of these guys playing in the Olympics in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be cool with Tyreek Hill doing this?
Straight line running?
You're
Yeah.
good with that? Okay.
Yeah.
Just, maybe
This isn't just
this is
extracurricular
cutting. Oh, so
this is a tweaked hammy at worst. That's what I'm thinking.
Tweaked hammy at worst.
But this isn't. It's a little difference between planting and cutting, and like that makes me cringe a little bit. But
this flag thing that's going on.
Exactly.
The race that
so
was
prestigious.
The race that was now supposed to happen. Was this a 40-yard dash? We doing 100 meters? You got any of that info?
Feels like 100.
I don't think Tyreek Hill could get Noah Lyles in 100 meter dash.
Let me see. 31-year-old lad ran the dash in an impressive. This is the world's fastest man, right, Lyles?
I think Lyles would pull away at some point after 100 meters or within that 100 meters. But a 40-yard dash, I think Tyreek could hold his own better. I would still bet on Noah.
The gold medal winner?
Yeah.
I would bet on him, too.
But the short area quickness for Tyreek Hill is real. But I just think the strides over time, because Tyreek's not a tall guy. What's Tyreek? 6 foot max? Looks like it.
Max, I would think.
On TV. I think that's where he would take the L there in a 100-meter dash.
All righty. Let's talk about Tua Tagovailoa real fast. And who's giving this analysis of that he's very believable as a long-term franchise quarterback.
This is Teron Armstead.
Okay.
I think now his former teammate who is retired.
He retired.
I think that did happen this offseason or maybe last offseason, but he has been one of the protectors or was one of the protectors for Tua.
I wholeheartedly believe in Tua. Believe in his ability. I've seen him snap into a mode that looked familiar to me from Drew Brees. That's why I have no problem making that comparison. The consistency of that, him snapping into that like assassin mode, that sniper mode, that's that championship DNA that we want to see more consistently. I believe he can do it. I believe he can. We can keep him upright up front. I think the Dolphins season it comes down to Tua's availability, and if we can get Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips healthy on that defense, I think those two guys healthy with Chop Robinson, it changes the whole dynamic of the team. If we can get those three factors. Those three guys I named, is no limit to me.
He's not a bust, and he's not a superstar starter for me. So he is a guy that is quality. If you give him enough weapons the way they have, everybody knows the big if. But I'll add this. If he's healthy, you win a Super Bowl with him? I mean, try to imagine that in your mind. He's playing in a Super Bowl or an AFC title. Like,
my mind AR goes to I would not be surprised because I think they have, if everything stays in order, they could have a Super Bowl offense with the explosive playmakers that they have. The defense, though, I'm not sure about. I don't think they have a complete top-to-bottom roster. The elephant in the room is Tua going to be available? That's the obvious thing at this point. We know that. But I think the weaponry that with Waddle and Hill and those guys that they have in that running back room with Achane, like they have a Super Bowl offense to me.
Yeah.
But I think there would have to be a lot more surrounding Tua, not only on offense, but the defense and special teams and all that stuff too. But I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender right now.
Can't be counted on. I hate to say it. Like I said, he's not a bust. And there were people that were predicting he would be a bust. But
he's a second-tier guy. And there's good
two ankle
quarterbacks there.
surgeries, a hip surgery, the concussions,
That's
the
the
broken
scary
nose,
stuff.
the whole...
It's a long list.
Guys,
it's a long rap sheet in a bad way. It is.
That was before he got to the league.
Right.
Everything I just said, that happened before he became a pro.
I know. That's scary stuff.
Yeah. Durability is going to be in question. All right. Those are your pre-snappers for today. Want to remind my guys out there to get to Low T Center because, and especially dads coming off the weekend, a lot of people feel like, okay, I should be feeling my best. And I'm sure that you kind of been lying to yourself over the years that you have the energy, or maybe it's the weather, or you didn't get enough sleep. It could be all of that, but really, honest to God, it's probably that you're low on the scale, and that's okay. That's nothing to be ashamed of. If you're low on the scale, go to Low T Center and get the free test and figure it out and let them guide you. If you're someone that wants to lose weight along the way, they're offering free weight loss consultation now and that free T-test. The special offer celebrating dads through the 21st, so you can enjoy a free B12 shot when you stop in for TRT and weight loss. The offer's limited. They've tried to incentivize you. I've talked about getting your numbers. There's power in the numbers. It really is. It's the first step to finding out. And if it's not that way, then great. Then you can figure it out if it's something else. But if it is, then you know you're at the right place. So the offer's limited, as I say. Book now at fixmylowt.com. That's fixmylowt.com. Father's Day's passed, but you want to get the extra boost going into summer, the health and energy you need to live your best life. fixmylowt.com. We come back in 2 minutes. Can these two men save their legacies? Do they have to be saved? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Summer's heating up, and so are the deals at Germain Toyota of Columbus. Whether you're cruising to the lake or hauling your weekend gear, Germain, well, they've got the truck to help you get it done. Right now, get 2.99 APR for up to 72 months on the rugged 2024 Tacoma, or step up to the powerful 2025 Tundra, also 2.99 for 72 months. These summer savings, they won't last forever. So visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net.
The most common form of treatment for the arthritic joints is normally cortisone injections and gel shots and over-the-counter medications. And most patients have tried all of that and are still in pain.
Every day, Dr. Aaron Wolkoff, a QC Kinetics medical director, meets patients who have exhausted every method to get relief. They've been told surgery is their only option.
They want to stay away from that path, and they come to us almost as the last hope. So we're using our own body's properties to help manage pain, to help slow arthritis down, keep the patients active with no downtime, and get them back to what they enjoy doing. I mean, I love what I do.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments from our board-certified providers help heal and restore aching joints. No surgery, harmful drugs, or downtime. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony can follow direction very well as long as he first prints out MapQuest. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, little add-on to the greatest games as a pitcher kind of thing, or the most marathon pitching moments. And this was given to me by a very involved Buckeye. Former Ohio State pitcher Steve Arlen. So Steve Arlen was a California kid and came to Ohio. He was born in Seattle, actually. And he starred here. And it's weird for me to say this, but, you know, Ohio State has won a College World Series in baseball in the 60s, mid-60s. In 66, and he led Ohio State to the title, and he was named the College World Series Most Valuable Player. In this game, you guys were talking about, you know, would players go the distance kind of thing. So this may be one of the greatest deals ever. In 1965, facing elimination against Washington State, Steve Arlen struck out 20 batters in a 15-inning 1-0 victory by the Buckeyes.
Where was the bullpen?
Dude, was 1-0.
15
you don't want to go to the bullpen. He's dominating. Like, who would know what his pitch count was? They wouldn't have kept that stat then. When did they start even keeping track of pitch counts?
Somebody with a little notepad in the dugout?
You either were fine or you weren't. You either got out of the inning or you didn't. I mean, listen, Jack Morris was pitching 9 games, in Game 7. There were no middle relievers. These starters were horses.
Well, in a Game 7, I get that. Like with a guy like Morris, you absolutely are going to ride that until the wheels fall off. But 15 innings for a starter
15 innings.
Nasty work.
But he struck out 20.
Over 15.
So he wasn't probably...
He was rolling.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what his pitch count would have been.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Had to be north of $120. Easy. Had to be.
No, he was striking him out on 3 pitches. Maybe. I have no idea.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, so the other... deal that we were talking about before the show. They keep saying that Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin need each other. Like somehow Tomlin needs a veteran guy with a lot of experience. He's done playing the experimental game with either journeymen or rookies that haven't lived up to the hype or whatever. And then Aaron needs a guy he really respects and trusts. And can I audible? Can I do the things I need to do?
Yeah.
Can we be on the same page? And so now here they are. I'm going to milk the last ounce of football you got in you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want to stay in the show. Why don't we do that together? And that's what's going on. But then it got us thinking about, and did somebody write about this, Cole? About these two dudes?
No, this
about
is
their legacies?
Ryan Clark via Get Up.
Ryan Clark, okay.
And I'm going to play it right now.
Cool.
At the end of the season, we're going to look back at these two first ballot Hall of Famers who we hold in such high esteem. And I think we're going to finally realize that both Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin has underachieved in their career. Both of them have such a high floor of talent, of ability, of potential to be the greatest that's ever done it, in my opinion, at their individual positions and places on their team, and they both underachieved. If you would have told me after Aaron Rodgers beat us in 2011 that both him and Mike Tomlin would not go back to a Super Bowl and we'd be in 2025, I would have bet my entire savings on it, and I would have been broke.
Doesn't make them underachievers just because they didn't go back.
I am 100% with
Dan
you on
Marino,
this.
Jim Kelly, Fran Tarkenton, Warren Moon, Phillip Rivers. Could I buy in that since they didn't win it all, that their careers are incomplete? Of course.
Those guys, the two guys that Ryan Clark is talking about, have been to the top of the mountain.
How many MVPs does Rodgers have?
He's got 4, I believe. 4. He's won a Super Bowl.
So he's saying that he's an underachiever based on their lack of titles.
Yeah,
right? Only because he didn't go any further than that.
Right.
I think he just said that he's, well, he didn't say surprised. He called them underachievers.
I can't get there. I can't get there. I think if both those guys decide to hang it up, which I think one of them will at the end of the year, that being Rodgers, they both hung it up after this year. Like Ryan acknowledged, there are no doubt Hall of Famers, but me personally, I wouldn't look at their careers and say, oh, yeah, they left a whole bunch of meat on the bone. Like, I don't view it that way. I think sometimes, and I don't know if Ryan was thinking this way, when we see the Tom Brady's of the world and the Mahomes of the world, these guys that we label and tab as the best in their sport or one of the best in their sport, those type of runs, I think, are very rare. There's usually one guy or one team that goes on to do that. Guys like Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, dominant Hall of Fame talents in their own right, those guys aren't racking up a whole bunch of Super Bowls. I just don't think that's how it really works. Like the history of the league has shown us that it's more individual cases or very small percentages of players that have multiple Super Bowls or coaches that have a whole bunch of coaches that have multiple Super Bowls. I just don't think that's how the NFL is constructed. And I think that's part of the reason why we love it, is that you do have pretty, not significant change, but a nice amount of change every single year as far as the team or teams that play for the Lombardi Trophy.
When you're that good, you're expected to win more. You are. And I'm not crushing him. This opinion isn't not that outrageous to think about, because they both are held pretty in high regard. They both are. And Mike Tomlin is kind of now a victim of his own success.
Yeah.
He's now become that guy that people are trying to, and he's not doing it himself. He's not out there saying, well, we make the playoffs every year.
No, he wants more.
Like, or that, I have a winning record every year.
He's not playing the Rory card. Where I've done enough. I can do what I want.
I've earned the right to do what I want.
Stop playing that card.
So I'm trying to think if I just compared the two of them. It's tough with coach and player. It's pretty difficult. Like, I can sit here and tell you that I think Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Troy Aikman. And that's not a slam on Aikman.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Rodgers is more talented. I think he's just a higher-end quarterback. But he doesn't have what Aikman has. And now he has the MVPs, but it's a team game.
Yes, thank you. You got to have the perfect storm.
Unless they completely fell on their face in massive moments. And there are times where Rodgers certainly did. And there are times when Mahomes has enough currency now to live off, where last year doesn't touch his legacy.
But to your point,
that's an interesting thing, though. He played horrible, but his offensive line was not great, and he played against a great defense that forced him into big-time mistakes.
He's got enough saved in the bank.
He's got enough currency now to overcome that.
Yeah.
An absolute flop in a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Even when they were down, people were like, don't count him out. Don't count him out.
Yeah.
And
baked into some of these elite runs for Kansas City the last couple of years has been, they got a special defense too. They've had an awesome kicker. They got a great head coach and an awesome defensive coordinator as well. And so Mahomes, while it wasn't a complete carry job by the defense. What was it, 2 years ago, AR, when all those guys were dropping passes left and right and the offense could just not find their way? You look at where Mahomes has been statistically the last 2 regular seasons, it's fine.
Yeah.
And they found themselves playing for the ultimate prize the last couple of years.
What's weird about Aaron Rodgers is that I know he has not flourished in massive games, NFC Championship games. And I'm looking at some of the older ones. Tampa, Seattle, divisional round against San Fran. I don't view him. It's like his face doesn't appear in my mind when you hear underachiever. Like if he never would have won one,
then that's fair. Then I think that would be fair to say. But even then, it's like...
Is it fair to say that about Dan Marino and Fran Tarkenton?
No, they're Hall of Famers.
Jim Keller.
You're not... So, yeah, I'm going to retract my statement. I don't think you can be an underachiever when you're a Hall of Fame player. To me, I don't. Like, you would have to be a all-time draft bust. You know, a guy drafted in the top... That type of guy that didn't do anything in the league to be a underachiever. You win a Super Bowl like Rodgers and Tomlin has... You're made men.
Was Peyton Manning viewed as an underachiever before the second Super Bowl with Denver?
For me, no. And by the way, that second Super Bowl in Denver wasn't Peyton Manning's best, right? That was a
defensive
dominant defense.
He was good enough.
Right.
In fact, I think Brock Osweiler started half of those games that year.
Underachiever. That's a tough one. Should they have won more? It's tough to say. In that sport where there's so much parity and there's so much paid to every other position.
Well, Tomlin was never going to win more with the quarterbacks that he's had the last few years.
Right. So if anything,
that's the real.
If there's anything, you could probably err on the other side with him.
Right.
He's probably overachieved.
Right.
We come back, tell the truth. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
Summer is finally here. That means long days, warm nights, barbecues, sporting events, and that vacation you've been planning for months. The last thing you want to deal with is a leaking roof or unexpected damage to your home. At Newman Roofing, we understand that life gets busy and your time is important. And that's why we designed our entire process around you. Whether it's your roof, siding, or gutters, we believe in doing things the right way, not the rushed way. No high-pressure sales, no pushy pitches, just honest conversations from professionals who respect your time and your home. When you call Newman Roofing, here's what you can expect. First, we'll take time to diagnose the issue, not just slap on a quick fix. Then we'll present clear, quality solutions and answer your questions so you can make the best decision for your family and your budget. And right now, we're offering special financing options so you can protect your home without putting your summer plans on hold. So go ahead, fire up the grill, pack your bags, or hit the ball field. Let Newman Roofing take care of the rest. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hey, it's Anthony. Comfort is king. We all strive for it, but life gets in the way. You know that. And oh, my aching feet is not just a cliche. That's why the Good Feet store, in my opinion, has the best arch support solutions engineered to help you and me live the life we love without pain. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. I'm a customer. I have their 3-step system put right into all my shoes. They support, balance, and strengthen my feet and really guide them right into their ideal position. Every step I take, every move I make, I get relief. Not from the song, although I love that, but from my personally fit arch supports from the Good Feet store. Your free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort, your personalized system. You'll walk out wearing your new arch supports hassle-free and begin living the life you love without pain. The Good Feet store on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $434 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Nashville's hottest band, Old Dominion, is coming to Great American Ballpark on July 10th as part of the Ohio Lottery post-game concert series. After the Reds take on the Marlins, all fans in attendance are invited to stay and enjoy a set from Old Dominion. Plus, you can upgrade your ticket to a pit field pass for an up-close view of the show. For tickets and more information, visit reds.com/concerts.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Matty Ice here from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Are you looking for an affordable family car? Then the Chevy Traverse is for you. This month at McDaniel GM Superstore, you can get up to $3,000 off MSRP on a 2025 Traverse. Plus, qualified buyers can finance at 6.8% for 72 months. They are just a short drive north of Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Now buy 4 windows, get 4 free, plus a free entry door with a house of windows. Visit windownation.com.
All right, TLC, take us home.
All righty, today's fan poll. Who do you think is going to win tonight? Panthers, Oilers. You guys have been hinting at it.
Yeah, well, listen, I think the heart is with the Oilers because I want this thing going 7. And the head is going with Florida. They're home. They're as good or better goalie. Yeah. I feel like they're not going to wilt under any pressure of a closeout game. But it's hockey. At the end of the day, it's hockey, which makes it so nuanced. Puck bounce is funny for everybody. Mm-hmm. This is going to sound very cliche. The Oilers cannot get down tonight. It just feels like that. The mountain it's just way too big to climb. And sometimes a first goal can mean a lot more than a first goal.
Yeah. That's the humanalytics come into play. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, it is because of just where they are mentally.
Yeah.
And I think if Skinner lets in an easy one first, now the whole thing's on tilt. Like you said, when do you pull them if you do? What's the score have to be? How do the goals have to look? But they're also a little bit of pacers where they've been down 3 and come back. So, and it might free them up. You know, it's that Rory double bogey at number 1 at the Masters. It's like, well, screwed it up already. What am I protecting now?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm so looking forward to watching this. Your original thing was who's going to. We both bet that Florida will. And not only that, we did it by laying a goal and a half.
And the second angle of this
just to
is
get the value.
What should we be rooting for? Should we be rooting for a Game 7?
Yeah, always.
Or should we be rooting for a championship won on the home ice?
No.
The environment of Game 7, you can't beat.
No way.
Yeah,
absolutely, 100%.
That's what I'm rooting for. That Edmonton crowd would be absolutely rocking. Be phenomenal to watch on TV. The final itself, all the environments throughout the playoff have been really fun for me. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Florida tonight. They've been the best team in the postseason, number 1 in goals per game, number 1 in goals against. So they're complete, top to bottom, and I think they're going to get it done tonight. Now I'm taking shots of Kool-Aid.
Yeah. The Marchand thing, too, the acquisition's been ridiculously
How good was that?
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't care less about a home hoisting of a cup. It doesn't matter where it is.
I disagree with that.
You're saying as a viewer,
that
right?
can get pretty greedy at times where if it's your team and if you knew they were going to win the series, then of course you don't play games with that. Like
for sure.
Like I remember back when the Blackhawks finally did it, and I remember feeling a little greedy at the time, thinking, man, I wish they would have done that at home. I wish they would have lost that game. Yes, of course, ideally, but
that's picky.
No. I think as a sports fan, Game 7, that's what you want. And I don't think it gets any better than the NHL. So here we are. And then we can all go to their records, home games, at home in the playoffs, all-time Game 7s and all that. I want to have those conversations.
Why do you think Tyrese Halliburton hasn't been fully embraced as a superstar in the NBA yet? First of all, do you agree with that he hasn't been fully embraced as a superstar?
They're skeptical about it. I think that we just, like I said earlier in the program, he's a little victim of his own success. He's been an assassin in the playoffs. So everyone thinks he should be Jordan. When you're hitting game-winning buckets like that, then you get vaulted into a certain status of that you need to you have to have a much higher floor than he's had. I'm not into crushing him completely because I do feel like he was affected physically. But why he hasn't been elevated? Because he hasn't been consistent enough to be embraced like that.
I don't think he is in the superstar class with Jokic, Giannis, SGA. For me, he's not, but he's in that second tier of stars in the league. Like, for me, he is that way. I know he's been motivated by the players themselves, voting him as the most overrated player in the league. I think that was kind of started. I think it's a couple things. I think guys don't really like him around the league, and I think the Olympic thing maybe rubbed some guys the wrong way, where he was just along for the ride and got a gold medal. But he's shutting a lot of people up. He's not a superstar for me right now.
That's right. But he's an all-star.
Yeah, right.
And he's a playmaker, and he's a shot maker, and he's been clutch.
Yeah.
I think that doesn't make a superstar. That makes a hell of a playmaker.
If they need a safety, tell them I know a guy.
Shout out to Tyvis Powell. Hey, if you missed anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. All you have to do is type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast. Coming up on Common Man and Timmy out, Adam King in.
And we're back in tomorrow at high noon, and hopefully we will be discussing a Game 7 on the agenda. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Common Man, a radio veteran, has a large hemorrhoid. Timmy Hall, a good, clean boy, moonlights as man's hemorrhoid. Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Common Man here. Let me tell you something. I'm on these Germain inter-office emails. At Germain Lexus, during the month of June, they've challenged themselves to sell more cars than they ever have in 1 month. What does that mean? Well, I'm stupid, but to me, that means they're willing to deal, baby. And the memorial cars are on the lot. The ones the golfers drive for the tournament are now available to you. I've been a Germain customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Germain Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton, GermainLexus.com.
Hey, Tinsley, why don't we use EasyCater to order food for staff lunches?
Because my 46-page acronym system is so easy. I just have to salad, stay alert to late arriving deliveries, pie, put in expenses, and Google Pie. Go out and get everyone's preferences and allergy information.
That's supposed to be simple?
No, simple.